Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Starfield here. So I'm jumping through a couple of games right now. So we're doing Skyrim with the Shaman Assassin builds, right? And then we've been doing the Cyberneticist build for a while. And I'm jumping back and forth between them as I have new things to share and new concepts to explore, right? Well, here I am on New Game Plus 7 with the Cyberneticist. And I finally got one of those new weird New Game Plus things, right? And I don't want to spoil the surprise yet, but it's one that I don't think I've actually heard of, and it's kind of awesome. So yeah, hope you guys like it. Magus, what's up, buddy? Still waiting for more people to come in here, but I guess people can start over and not ruin the surprise. Another couple of announcements that I have here is that I am dropping 10% of my frames here. That was yeah, let me do some testing here. So another announcement that I had to make was that my ISP, my internet service provider, had tripled my upload speeds for better bandwidth, but now it seems like for some reason it's going back to dropping frames. So I'm going to move that back down to where it was. And let's see, my output is at 60 FPS as well. I need to change that. Yeah, no, I have to restart the stream real quick. Give me a second, I'll be right back, okay? And I think we're back. Are we back? Hello? There it is. I see myself waving at myself now. Okay, we're good. Now I should stop dropping frames here. Yes, already going way down there. Yeah, no, my ISP had upgraded me from 10 megabits per second upload to 30. And I've been testing at that bit rate for quite a while, like all week. Now all of a sudden I try to take advantage of it and I'm getting dropped frames. So I did some private test streams during the week too, and they all seem to hold up quite well. But yeah, did I go live? Let me see here. Let me just make sure I'm not missing any buttons here. You might have to refresh. Hello, hello, hello. It's gonna get real echoey in here. Hello, hello, hello. It's gonna get real echoey in here. Hello, hello, hello. It's gonna get real echoey in here. Hello, hello, hello. All right, good, good. Okay, no, I think we're good. Let me just say. Some connection issues. Yep, okay. So yeah, just getting a lot of dropped frames. I think I was trying out a higher bit rate since my ISP upgraded me, and it seems no bueno. All right, so just back to 1080p 30. Let me know if you have any more problems, but it looks like the dropped frames have completely stopped. So I think we're good now. All right. So let's see. Anything new? Yeah, let's see. As far as the build is going with this guy, I have a bunch of skill points, but I've been focusing more on pharmaceuticals lately. Let's see, where is that? Medicine, no. Weapons engineering. Yeah, chemistry. You don't observe DST, do you? No, I sure don't. In fact, the entire world should not. It's an antiquated system that doesn't do anybody any good anymore, except that now nobody wants to change their systems. So yeah, Arizona never observed it. I think most of the world doesn't either. Okay, let's see here. Chemistry. Yes, so I got rank 3 of 4 out of chemistry. I'm gonna have to grind some chems, some aid potions, if you will, to get that up. And I gotta decide where to put the rest of my points. So what I was doing was looking at some of the social stuff like diplomacy. I've already gotten maxed out, and then I was looking into instigation as more of a fury spell. But what I've realized is that trying to manipulate people through your scanner is really wonky, really janky if you're in combat. It works a lot better for a stealth character, right? So I think diplomacy is fine because it's the first menu item that pops up when you select somebody in your scanner, and that's easy enough to do in the heat of battle. So I think with my official build, I'm going to stop here at diplomacy, and then maybe some stuff for robotics as well. It just becomes completely way too cumbersome to select in the context menu in your scanner in the heat of battle when everybody's running around. Instigation shows up underneath diplomacy. So keeping your reticle on the target while you're also trying to hit down for the next option in that scanner manipulation thing is darn near impossible if you're not just sneaking and doing it on a stationary enemy. So yeah, we'll just stop at diplomacy, and instead of doing the social stuff, I'm probably going to focus more on chemistry. I feel like I can roleplay around this with the Cyberneticist, that he is creating nanobots and injecting them into his bloodstream and giving him certain boosts when he needs to. And it also fits with the theme of having a frail body but boosting himself up using artificial means through either robotics, cybernetics, or, you know, nanobots. And that's about it otherwise. The Cyberneticist comes with a security skill, but I would actually not recommend taking that. If you're doing more of a sneaky, thiefy playthrough, this becomes a lot better. But for just a laser gun cybernetics expert, I don't think that the security skill really fits. That being said, I have started a cyber runner on another character, starting from the very hard difficulty level. And I'm actually getting trophies this time around, so that's good. But she is a stealth expert, and she also does security and all the hacking and everything like that. So that's going to be fun to show off soon. Maybe I'll show her off a little bit later on in the stream. But okay, now the moment we're all here for. This is a new game plus weird roll is what I call them, quote unquote weird roll. Whenever you step through the Unity, there is what I've heard is a 5% chance to get something wacky when you step through these doors at the lodge, right? And it took me all the way to New Game Plus 7 to get this, but it's here now. All right, let's check it out. All right, there's a strange person.
We seem to have another visitor.
Who's this? Another member of Constellation?
What the hell? That's me, except without the face paint.
No way.
You don't have a twin, do you?
I wish.
No.
I wish that it was the version of me with like the beard and the hair and everything that I started off with. Damn, the Starborn were right. Beating yourself is weird.
Starborn? What are you talking about? Who are you?
A miner from Vectera brings us an artifact, and now a doppelganger walks through our door right afterwards. I think you have a few pieces of this puzzle to share with us, don't you?
Yeah, sure. I'm not from this universe. There's a place called the Unity which connects all realities. See, this doesn't even give me the option of skipping the main quest or going through it.
The pieces to an armory.
Because it wants to tell this story.
A path to the center of a multiverse.
Okay, hey, look. I was just here to drop off the artifact. Yeah, I'm not cut out for this.
Yes, you are. I will show you the way. Join me.
Okay. Okay. Let's do this.
In the meantime, I suppose we don't really have much of a choice but to allow both of you to join. You should feel free to make the lodge your home. You should talk to Vladimir about the artifacts the Eye is supposed to find. We'll gather the others.
Yeah, no, I don't know. The face paint and stuff, I'm not sure. I wish that it was the version of me.
Well, it is customary to say, welcome home.
I wish it was using the version of me that I started off with from the very beginning of the game, right? That would be like more accurate, but no, I'm glad that they put this in here. The execution could be a little better. I wish they had like all the face paint and stuff too. That made everything look a lot better. He's just like a healthier version of how I am now, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense canonically, but you know what? Weird things happen when you step through the Unity, right? But this is cool. I wonder if he's available as like a
Hey,
available for the crew.
me. I gave it some thought, and I want to take you up on your offer. I'll join your crew, cause
I hope he can be a
two's
follower.
company. Right?
I knew you'd come around. Let's get moving.
Right now? Man, you don't mess around, do you?
Yeah, I've been through
All
this a
right.
few times.
What's my first assignment?
Well, let's get you set up on the Starborn Guardian, shall we?
Roger that, boss. Can I call you boss? Because it's kind of weird using my own name when I talk to you.
I don't blame
Anyway, I'll see you out there.
you. Now, this is all new to me, okay? So, I stopped as soon as I saw that there was something weird when I walked through those doors when I was playing on my own. I was like, oh crap, I need to stream this.
Anything I can do to help out?
Why don't you follow me for
Sure.
a while?
I'll be
Hell
right
yeah,
on
you
your
can use
heels.
yourself as a follower. This is perfect for narcissists all over the place.
Hello,
Looking at you,
Starborn.
Magus.
I will assist in any way I can.
No, this is amazing. All right, yeah, I wish I could make him look just like me. So pissed. Just playing with you. Never made a version of myself. Okay, that's fair. That's
Your
fair.
very existence
So you're saying
is
I'm the
the greatest
narcissist.
single
I get it.
discovery in the settled
All right,
system.
did I get any weapons and stuff? I did. All right, what did it give me? A modified advanced bridger, which is nice, but there's like no ammo for it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go and sell off all this stuff. What kind of bonuses did I get with my? Yeah, no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding with you. All right, so what kind of bonuses we get with our stuff here? 15% incoming melee damage, auto medic. Plus 40 carry capacity. I'm not really a hoarder. Usually pretty organized with my inventory, which is heresy for a BGS player, I know. I guess sturdy, negative 15% melee damage is good. Auto medic, as long as, well, okay, so New Game Plus 7 is
I
a new
hope
beast,
no
right?
one attempts to
This game
dissect
has
you.
gotten a lot harder through the New Game Plus runs, I will say. Hardest difficulty level on just your original playthrough is a cakewalk. It's so easy, minus a few space battles, right? But this is actually getting a little harder to stay alive. You have to be a little bit tactical about it. Okay, we got some advanced stuff here, but no laser weapons yet. That is an AA-99, all advanced stuff, which is good for money, but we need laser rifles. We'll go down to the well, to the UC surplus, or maybe the residential district has a gun shop there. All right. I can't wait to see like what kind of comments and stuff I make.
Need something from me?
Yeah. Do you mind if I ask you some
That's
personal
fine
questions?
by me, boss.
I'd like to know what your life was like before I showed up.
Okay. Let's see
He's
if our
pissed at me
stories
for
match
punching
up.
him in the gut. Now he's smiling. Okay. What was your life like before you took the job at Argos?
Honestly, my life was kind of boring before I found the artifact. I had a steady gig as a miner, plenty of friends at Argos, and your run-of-the-mill UC family. It's wild how fast things change, isn't it? Hell, before you showed up, I'd never even had a job where I worked above ground. Makes me wonder how things would be different if I never found the artifact in the first place.
Yeah, probably a lot. I think a lot. I think about that kind of thing a lot too.
I try not to let it keep me up at night. But that's easier said than done. I'm sure you get it. I mean, you've had a way stranger journey than I have.
So far, yeah, you're gonna have your own journey, buddy.
Soon.
Just you wait. Is there like a movie or some kind of example from pop culture about like some kind of phantom doppelganger that you run into that's just you and you're like having conversations with them constantly? I don't know, this feels strangely familiar, but I can't think of any other example. You have stuff like Fight Club, where technically, like, Tyler Durden is Jack, you know? They're the same guy. Let's head to... There's gotta be, I'm sure I've watched one at some point. Yeah, especially when you start thinking about, like, animated stuff, too, right? Oh, I guess there was Austin Powers. There's some kind of the timeline mix-ups, and all of a sudden he was in the same timeline as himself.
A diplomatic visit.
Having threesomes.
See that scientist out in front of mast, staring at trees?
That's probably the more jovial example. I'll bet there's like more like dark examples too.
Okay, no bounty.
Back to the Future a little bit, yeah, but they were actively trying to avoid each other, otherwise they'd both disappear. So there wasn't really a whole lot of interacting with each other. But yeah, I get ya.
If you don't see what you want, if it belongs on your ship, then I'm sure.
And
we
there
have it for sale.
was a movie called Looper with Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Oh, please take a look.
See what she has. The Ace sidearm, nothing good there. Can't sell off my stuff though. The cutter is actually a great backup weapon for this class because he's all maxed out on laser weapons, so he does get the incendiary chance. Just making sure I'm not running out of money here. You should have done a cutter run.
Appreciate the
No,
business.
I do actually keep the cutter. The problem is that the Cyberneticist is kind of frail, right? He has to do a lot of prep work in order to be tanky at all. So we're really trying to keep distance. The cutter sort of insists that you stay really close. Its range is pretty bad for all of its strengths, right? That being said, I think that I could hover.
Put on our suits.
Time to put on your suits? Go ahead, buddy. I'm already wearing mine. Should have a good amount of credits here now. 26,000. Yeah, that's plenty for a good starting arsenal here. There goes the FPS. Oh, did you see it chugging? Yeah, this game is very CPU bound. I don't get those frame dips normally, but that's one of the things that they're working on. Actually, did they already push out an update? Because my CPU usage looks pretty strong across the board there. Huh. Yeah, it's very CPU bound, just like all the other BGS games.
Happy to make a deal.
They generally don't use
I need credits. It all works
make good
out.
use of
Take your time. I got
all the
day.
CPU cores, like a lot of games don't, right? No, I'm not. I am not opting into that. I'm waiting. The game runs fine for me, but I'm definitely going to be taking advantage of DLSS once I get that all sussed out. They're dealing with some black screen issues and stuff right now. I'm glad that they're doing that in a beta branch before they release it out to everybody, because there are some minor issues with it still. But from what I hear, it's working well otherwise. But part of that update is that they're going to be making better use of the CPU for sure. And that's good. That is a good change. That's something that they never did in Skyrim or Fallout 4, but could have made a huge difference. So I'm hoping that like once they get all the technical stuff out of the way, oh, they're also adding frame generation. Not only DLSS plus 2, which does like the upscaling, but they're also doing DLSS 3 for the frame generation as well, which this game will benefit greatly from, especially on a high-end GPU. So basically, it'll double your frame rate, even though the responsiveness and stuff will still feel the same, but it'll just be that much more smooth. And they're ironing out kinks in that as well. So that'll be a huge boon for people with a 40 series card. Much better frame rates. Responsiveness will be the same. It's not going to increase your input or decrease your input latency at all. But yeah, it will effectively double your frame rate on what you see versus what's running in the background. Good stuff. I've been running some frame generation on Cyberpunk, and I got a locked 120 FPS with full path tracing and everything, and it is gorgeous. Pretty much, yeah, I would say so. That ES6 is being tested here. Hopefully, they forward a lot of this technology and stuff. But DLSS and frame generation would be huge for a BGS game, because in those instances where you're getting like 40-50 frames per second when usually you're locked to 60, and then when you're used to seeing the 60 FPS and it dips down into the 40s and 50s, you see a lot of choppiness, right? But then if that's locked instead at above 100, and if instead you're getting 120 to like 100, you're not gonna notice that at all. It's not gonna hitch on you. And as long as you're able to run VSync at the same time, it'll be smooth as silk. No one has a single core CPU or even a 4-core these days. Yeah, at least you shouldn't. I had a 4-core that I was running my 3080 on for a while, and that wasn't the greatest idea. It was a boost from what I had before, but I wasn't getting the most out of that card for sure until I upgraded my CPU. I still probably wasn't getting the most out of it because I was still using PCIe Gen 3 at that point, and I still am now. But at least that's like, you might get an extra 3 or 4 frames per second using a Gen 4 PCIe slot. Yeah, right now I'm feeling pretty smooth. Yeah, right around 60. But yeah, a lot of the perceived smoothness of Cyberpunk above something like Skyrim or Fallout 4 or Starfield is that frame generation boost that you get on high-end cards.
You know, just by walking through that door, you've shown you make good decisions.
Nvidia pushing out their
I
super
like that
card
about
soonish. I don't know dates here.
Welcome to
Priced at
Centurion
what their normal
Arsenal.
counterparts came out
It
for.
is
Yeah,
my
that's not
absolute
bad.
pleasure to
It's probably
assist
going
you
to be
with
like a
any purchases or questions you may have.
10% boost, I think, probably
All
over
sales
what
are
the
final, but
normal
that won't
ones
matter
were.
because
And
you
it sounds
will
like they're...
undoubtedly be pleased with your purchase. You have my word.
She's intense.
I'm sure we can find something that suits
Probably
you.
like a 10% increase, maybe 10% maybe, closer to 15% when you include like high-end effects like path tracing and things like that. But yeah, probably not worth the price of upgrading from like a 4070 to a 4070 Super or something like that, right? Or a 4080 to a 4080 Super. Now, typically the Supers are not quite as good as the TIs. They're just trying to get more chips out for what their bins are. Advanced Old Earth. Geez, these people have like no. Oh, advanced Big Bang. I could do a Big Bang. Wow, that is expensive though. Still 107 physical damage and 314 energy damage per shot, and then I would have around 7,000 more to spend on ammo, I guess. Nova lights are cool. I gotta start using this for my other character. There's no point for me to upgrade. I'll likely ship the 5K series as well and wait, or skip the 5K series as well and wait for the 6K. Yeah, I mean, I'm at a point now where nothing's been able to really touch the 4090. Any kind of bottlenecks that I've had were all CPU limited, right? And that's something that the games industry just has to figure out, how they're optimizing their stuff for the CPU. That's there's not a CPU out there that's not going to bottleneck the 4090. It just doesn't exist. So there's no point in me upgrading even that anymore. Tactician's Advanced Orion. This is actually much more economically feasible. I would have more money for ammo and upgrades. Probably do that. Unless I can find an advanced Equinox. There's a refined Equinox. Yeah, I think I gotta go with the Orion. This one's already got some stuff on it too. So let's buy up some ammo here too. I need the 3 kilovolt jobbers. 138 is a good start. Yeah, now at New Game Plus 7, these enemies are going to be, they have a lot more health, they do a lot more damage, and I reduce damage a lot less effectively. My damage reduction numbers are gimped, so I got to be very careful about, you know, using my pharmaceuticals, using my reactive shield before I get into a scuffle with anybody. Yeah, I mean, they've seemed extreme. They don't drop their prices, right? They never have, and I doubt that they're going to start now. What they might do is give you a little bit more power for the same price with the Super Series. That's effectively the only thing they ever do for a price reduction, is just give you a little more power at the same price they were at. Now the market, this like secondhand market, they kind of talk a different story. They're completely bound to supply and demand, right? Nvidia is extremely price protected. If you buy something new, it's either going to be list price or it's going to be higher than that. You'll never find a brand new card at really any vendor unless they're trying to do a clearance sale on something really old. But secondhand market is much more sensitive to market conditions, right?
May require multiple levels of approval, and
it is ridiculous.
Several weeks. Welcome to UC distribution. Now,
especially if inflation starts to go the other way because of like a recession or something like that, then everybody's going to be dropping their prices, and maybe they see themselves as like a luxury item that's sort of recession proof with the pricing or whatever.
I am sorry for any potential
high-end gamers will always spend what they're going to spend for the latest greatest thing. I don't know, maybe that's the way they're thinking, but you would think prices have to come down one way or another soon. Honestly, I don't know why anyone would buy used. Inflation is stupid high, and it's just going to get worse. Yeah, I mean, sure.
You're always welcome back. If you don't
the secondhand market right now is on fire, but it dipped really, really low after the .com bubble. It dipped really, really low after the, or not the .com bubble, the Bitcoin bubble, the cryptocurrency stuff popped. Then you could get all GPUs super cheap because all of a sudden these cheap secondhand cryptocurrency GPUs started flooding the market, and that made like prices drop on cards that weren't used constantly for that, right? And then it dipped again when the 40 series was announced. You could get 30 series stuff like dirt cheap, and the same with the 20 series when the 30 series stuff was announced. That's a pattern you can go by, and you can find really good deals used. You just have to be very careful, especially if people were mining cryptocurrencies with this. Yeah, maybe. I mean, they were hedging their bets. It needs to stop. I agree. Yeah, there's consequences that they're gonna have to be facing here real soon, which they're already facing. So the thing that the Fed is doing is they're trying to fight inflation by raising interest rates, right? But it's hurting business startups and things like that, but also it's like hurting people trying to buy houses. It's hurting a lot of people in a lot of ways, but so is inflation, right? And that's how you fight inflation, is get people to spend less money, and you get people to spend less money on the biggest scale by raising interest rates and getting them to borrow less on big ticket items. So, I mean, I get it. I don't know what they would do instead. Just let it go wild. Inflation would go even worse, right? I don't think the Fed's actually trying to do the opposite of printing money, right? And the government isn't giving nearly as much money away as they were during the pandemic. They put a cap on that. And then the whole student loan thing is happening now, but that's kind of a drop in the bucket compared to the entire economy. I feel like we're talking about things that will lead to like 2 or 3% inflation across the country, and instead we're seeing things that are like 12, 14% that are more tied to supply chain stuff and just how hard it is to get stuff. So the demand is there, but the supply isn't, so prices are going to go way up. I don't know, and it's all like industry specific. Like a lot of industries have come back, but so like the cost of materials and things, like for a lot of like cars and automotive stuff, has dropped a lot, but they're still keeping like their prices high because it's good for profit margins, right? So it's not just the government. A lot of it has to do with the big corporate decisions, like trying to make their shareholders happy and stuff. It's a big complicated weather system of, it's not just, okay, we need to do this one thing and it's going to be fixed. We need to do this thing, and we need to do that thing, and we need to do this thing, and we need to do that thing. And that's why it's been so hard to get it to come back down. $100,000 for a pickup? Yeah, that's crazy. That's too much. Employers can't. Yeah, no, I agree. But maybe we could shave a little off the top and do the... See, the problem is it's like a lot of companies are advocating for like the trickle-down economic stuff, and it's just not trickling down. We're seeing record profits and nobody's getting raises. So you're starting to see strikes and stuff like that. It's not a trickle-down, it's an accumulation at the top. But how do you get them to force that without government overreach and like stomping on smaller businesses? I don't know. Yeah, trickle down never worked. From what I mean, I was a child in the 80s when the Reaganomics thing happened, but I think we're seeing proof in the pudding right now that record profits, everybody's celebrating, hey, check this out, shareholders, we made more money this year than we ever have before. And then they're like, but our employees haven't had a raise in 3 years, so what's the deal here? Okay, let's see. Do I have everything? Oh yeah, I want to keep checking for, let's see, Jemison Mercantile I've had. Talk to the bartender. What else? Commercial, UC surplus. I think I've gotten all the ammo that I can afford. All right, let's start doing some questing here, huh? What's a good shooty thing that I can do? Oh, no, I gotta upgrade my gun. Let's go take a look at our gun. Joe, how's it going, buddy? Are you still playing Starfield? A lot of people bounce off Starfield early, I think, but for me, this has been one of the best gaming years in history, like top 3 definitely, without a doubt, with all the different games and expansions and all the cool stuff that's come out. But for me, it's like this is still my game of the year. I love this game a lot. I mean, judging by audience numbers, I can't see how many viewers there actually are, but as far as people who are chatting, I got 2 mods here.
Definition of inhospitable.
What is?
Need any help out in the field?
Oh, now he's got all the makeup on. Maybe that was just a little glitch. He's wearing his makeup now.
Stay safe out there.
Yeah, so this is for people who are just joining now. So this is New Game Plus 7 on Starfield. So I'm not gonna try to spoil any like end game stuff, but New Game Plus is part of the story here. Every time you walk through this door, or this door right here, there is a chance of something funky happening in a new timeline, right? And I have just met myself from another timeline, and he's following me around as a follower. That's me from another timeline, and he's got like new dialogue and everything to focus on, or to read and go through. He's got backstory and all that, and he's got comments that he makes on everything. It's really awesome. Got stuck in a spacecraft and I can't seem to figure out how to get where I need to go, so haven't played much lately. I sort of wanted to try and focus on Einarath too. Okay, or Einarath, yeah. I get it. I still like going back to Starfield, Skyrim. I still like going back to Skyrim sometimes too. I still have a build character concept that I'm going for on that. Let's see, I've already gotten all the research projects done. I need to upgrade my gun, and I need to start tagging things to be found for these really super powerful pharmaceuticals that I can do. Did I not sell the Bridger? Oh yeah, because they didn't have enough money for it. Okay. Long barrel is good. Recon laser sight is good. Medium scope is fine. Focus nozzle is perfect. Standard grip without stock. We can do a stabilizing stock here. We're gonna need some materials for that. Standard, I can use ignition beams to create a lot more damage there. Internal, let's go with an amplifier. Skin, I don't need. Okay, let's do a quick market run here. Do I have the money to be able to afford all this? I'm sure that I do. It's pretty cheap. Yeah, I think I have plenty. Especially on Skyrim's birthday. I know, I should have probably been doing Skyrim, but I don't really have anything new to show with the shaman, the assassin shaman right now. I had all kinds of new stuff that I wanted to show for this guy. 11/11, yeah. We're at 12 years. Skyrim's 12 years old, entering the tweens. Still as angsty as ever. My little guy is growing up so fast. I know, remember on 11/11 we didn't have any mods, and then like we started getting like the nude skins and stuff, and that was like the budding adolescent phases, and now we're running like 2,000 mods on a game. It's nutty. Yeah, so here's what my follower looks like. That's what my Cyberneticist looks like too. It's pretty ugly. Pretty ugly dude. He's been modifying himself with technology and chems and nanobots and stuff, and his actual body is quite frail now, but he earns his power through technology. His body's still okay. His face is looking a little ragged though. Still smooth as a baby. No body hair in this game. It's weird. Likely be setting up for the AE Requiem play after today. I did just about as much as I want with the Thief build now. Not sure if folks want to see more or not. For me, it's not like what build you're playing or what character you're playing. It's more about when I have the time to actually tune in. And I think I was actually able to join a couple times this week, so that was nice. Yeah, I like all the builds that you play, and there's always something new and interesting and things like that. I always learn something new whenever I watch one of your streams. Like, what was his name? The dude who fell down the well in Bleak Falls Barrow. I never knew about that. And it's like, I feel like you can only get to him if you disable collision, right? Still looking into why the bear traps aren't always procking off. That's never been an issue for you. I haven't seen it like screw up as much as it was like missing for you, but yeah, that's always been an issue for me too. Is like every once in a while, I want to say like 10% of the time, 9 out of 10 times it would work fine. Thomas, yeah. 9 out of 10 times it would work fine, and then that 10th time it just would not hit. It wouldn't hit. I mean, the trap would snap and everything, and it's just like the enemy that I was hitting with it just would not be bothered at all by it. It's weird. It might just be one of those quirky Skyrim things that there is no answer for, that there is no fix for.
Thanks for shopping at Jemison Mercantile.
It could just be that there's a script under there that when the game is, like the CPU is maxed out on that one thread that Skyrim uses, that the script just isn't going to proc properly. That's kind of my guess on it. And if that's the case, there's not really any way to fix that.
Is one nasty looking atmosphere.
Manscaping has been going palm. Yeah, well, especially with the Cyberneticist being a laser expert, he's probably lasered off all his body hair. But yeah, I agree. As a hairy bearded man myself, this is kind of heresy.
What time is it? It's me.
I made the bait perk almost entirely worthless. Yeah. Abomination.
I'm very busy.
I don't know, Joe. You look pretty hairy too.
I sound like a commercial right now, but
happy to make
just judged like on the ease of your beard growing. You probably got a jungle going on down there, don't you?
the best deals in the entire galaxy.
A little bit like the pot calling the kettle black. Okay, Haster's going all oh, what's the name of that? Warhammer on us. Space Marine, maybe? Well, it stayed off my shoulders and back so far, so not too bad. Oh man, I'm kind of jealous. My back and shoulders are almost just as bad as my face.
Prices.
And will not mention the ass.
Stop by anytime.
Oh, they're doing it too. It's not
Blood
just
Angels
the prices
fan,
on individual items either. Their bundles are top tier.
Okay, I'm running out of money now, so hopefully I got all the materials that I need or close to. Let's head back to the lodge. Oops, went to the wrong place. I don't know. Now picturing it, just the head of Joe, beard, etc., and nothing below the neckline. Wonder, yeah, that's what you're imagining now. Oh my! Like a baby.
Get your...
I don't know. You ever think about like just shaving your entire body, just like completely clean shaving everywhere, like even like your head and your eyebrows and everything, and then just putting on a clean pair of sheets on the bed and just rolling around and giggling for like a day? Yeah, me either. That would be weird. I don't do that. Slade. The 13th Legion's descendants of the Primarch Sanguinius, after he got slayed by the traitor Horus Lupercal, they got cursed with the Black Rage and the Red Thirst. That sounds dark. Sounds metal as hell. I feel like I should read that against like the background music of like Mick Gordon's like Doom music or something. Shaved my head once this year entirely, beard and all. Lasted 3 days. Okay. What about the eyebrows? Did you shave the eyebrows too? I still need Eterbium. Keep an eye out for that. Amplifier we have enough for. Okay, we still need Eterbium. Go ahead and drop all this other stuff off. That'd be great until it all started to grow back and would be itchy as hell. Yeah. Probably not worth the day of giggles, huh? And then you'd be a beast after that stuff came back, because it grows back like thicker, I think. You don't have all the fine, wispy, worn stuff on the outside anymore. It's just pure stubble, pure inch-long stubble.
I'm pleased to report that our stocks are currently being maintained at 90% or higher.
Eyebrows stayed.
I'm sure we have anything you might
All right.
need. Welcome to UC Distribution.
So you didn't commit
Something
fully,
I can do
is
for
what
you?
you're saying.
Yes.
Eterbium, please. Positron battery, don't need that. There it is. There's the good stuff. And I feel like I can sell her off this modified advanced bridger as well. And I get a pretty penny for it. Another 2,000. Great. Now I might have some ingredients for some
Right. Come back.
OP pharmaceuticals now too. I'll show you guys the pharmaceuticals that I've unlocked through my research too. It makes a big difference, for sure. Some of it is very powerful. No, I think giggles can be obtained in other ways. Very true. Lesser cost, less itchy ways, for sure. Hey, the End King, welcome, buddy. Oh yeah, for the End King and for Pastor, who joined, missed the beginning here. One of the weird new things that happened on New Game Plus is that I got to meet myself from another timeline, and you actually get to keep him as a follower. Look at that. You can add him to a crew, and he's just you, and he comments and stuff. He has original dialogue for everything.
Good to see you, me.
Can I ask you some personal questions?
And here I was thinking you could read my mind.
I probably can. I could just hack into your neural implants there.
The feeling's mutual.
So what made you decide to take the job at Argos?
It was mostly Supervisor Lynn's doing. Argos wasn't my first mining job. And when Lynn and I met, I was mining for Deimos near Sidonia. See, 5 years on Mars, churning out ore for the UC military was more than enough for me. I met Lynn and Heller at the Broken Spear one night, and we got to talking. Lynn said she beat my Deimos salary, and that if I worked for Argos, I'd get to travel more. Seemed like too good an opportunity to pass up, so I took it.
Lynn seems like hell of a boss, you know? It's like she's tough, but she's like fair, and she really cares about her people. Was mining on Mars really that bad? You don't have the red eyes.
For me, it was. The work was hard, the pay was crap, and the way Deimos treated us miners rubbed me the wrong way. I was happy to get out of there.
That's warp sorcery? A little bit, yeah. If you get more, you can build on a Borg collective. Yeah, I can take him with me through the Unity. Oh, Magus likes Lynn. Okay. Did you like the work with Argos?
I did. Heller and I got along, and Lynn was a good boss. I mean, she was tough, but only when we needed
That's
it.
weird.
Beat the hell
That's
out of
exactly
work
what
for
I just
Deimos,
said.
That's for sure.
Okay. Now the game's reading my thoughts, and I'm a little creeped out. That's okay. After what happened with the artifact, do you regret switching jobs?
I go back and forth. I enjoyed mining for Argos, even though I wasn't with them very long. I think I could have been a lifer if it weren't for that artifact. But it's hard to regret finding it after what I saw when I touched it. I mean, you get it, right? I've never experienced anything like it in my life. It changed me. Hopefully for the better.
That's cool. Sounds like the Lynn from this universe and the one I came from are pretty similar.
I am not surprised. I can't imagine Lynn being any different even in another universe. She's a good woman. I would have worked for her for the rest of my life if the artifact and constellation hadn't come into play. See you later.
Yep. See ya every time I look in the mirror. Let's see. I remember when I was young and I was messing around with shaving my eyebrows, but I didn't have the guts to go all the way, so I ended up with little Charlie Chaplin mustaches over my eyes. That's amazing. That's almost worse than not having eyebrows. With that, I mean, maybe you could do like, there's like that punk styling where you just take the little bit of chunks out of like the outside of your eyebrow or whatever. That can look good, you know, depending on like what style you're going for or whatever. But yeah, the Charlie Chaplin, the Charlie Chaplin stuff, probably not the best look. Let's see, we got our Ytterbium now, so we should be able to finish our upgrades on our rifle now. Oh, I gotta pick up all the rest of that stuff from that box that I put away. Oh, look, fellow Cyberneticist over there working on a spacesuit. Keep hitting the B button to exit and he just crouches because that's a quick menu thing. Still coming to terms with the quick menu. I've played a lot more Skyrim than I have Fallout 4, which also has the quick menu on it. So it's a lot of getting used to for me, not having to enter the inventory every time. Okay, let's take a look at our pharmaceutical station now, and oops, did not mean to do that. Let's see, what could we use here? So there's some new stuff, especially the black hole stuff, the black hole heart. This gives you like, this stuff is really, really good. But all of it kind of takes alien genetic material, some kaolumite, which is rare, but you do get to see quite often if you're hunting down relics or artifacts. And then the tetrafluorides, which you can find at general vendors fairly often. And the solvent, which is pretty common too. But the alien genetic material, you can't find that at a vendor. At least I haven't been able to find it. But you can find it on more powerful just fauna that you see on alien planets here and there. And it's usually on the aliens that have like the multiple health bars, where they have like the white bar and then the multiple red bars underneath it. So they have like multiple health bars that you have to get through. That will usually either grant you the dark quantum material, or it will grant you alien genetic material. Now the alien genetic material on its own acts as an aid item that really strengthens up like your damage reduction, so it makes you tankier. And I think it also like strengthens your damage output, but if you perk right in this game, you probably won't need a boosted damage output. It helps for sure, but really what you want is that damage reduction, because at higher New Game Plus levels, enemies become very, very strong. But yeah, this will slow time, this will give you increased movement speed, and 200% power recovery, so you get to do your Starborn powers even more. Dwarf Star Heart, say that 10 times fast. 50% power recovery, 250 damage resistance, and 250 energy resistance. Giant Heart is another one, 75% power recovery, 350 damage resistance for 5 minutes, and 350 energy resistance. Hyper Giant Heart, 100% power recovery, 500 damage resistance, 500 energy resistance, and I think that's about it. But then you also get the Super Giant Heart and Super Massive Black Heart. 300% power recovery, slows time by 35%, 40% damage for 10 seconds, and 50% movement speed. This is all just 10 seconds though. But it slows time by 35%, so you probably get a few extra seconds on top of that, I'm guessing. But here's the big boy right here. 500% power recovery, slows time for 50%, 50% damage, and 75% movement speed. It's good stuff. But we have to farm genetic material for all this stuff. The good stuff here that is not like the super broken stuff that you need like alien genetic material and stuff for. The Frost Wolf is really good. This can be done with fairly common ingredients. You do have to have other pharmaceuticals, other chems in order to make this stuff. So Recon Stim can like be hard to find, but it's almost always better to upgrade it if you have the perks to do it. Been a productive morning for me. Finished up vacuuming. Laundry is almost done. Got my car back, so I vacuumed and wiped down the interior. My daughter was using it for a couple of weeks. Ah, okay. She totaled her CRV, so she's using mine until all that got settled. She ended up with a 2015 Nissan Juke, kind of a crude. Yeah, that is a kind of a cute little car. The wife and I actually went to go test drive a 4Runner yesterday, and I was shocked that I didn't fit in it at all. My head was like this. You would think that like a larger SUV like a 4Runner would have lots of headroom, but it actually had less headroom than like her Civic does. And my Mustang actually has a ton more headroom than the 4Runner does. My head just didn't fit. So it was kind of a deal breaker. We might go look at, well, we already have a Bronco on order, but getting new Broncos has been next to impossible because of supply issues. We do have one on order, but we've not gotten any updates on getting a VIN or getting it actually on the production line at all. And then the auto worker strikes didn't help. But there are Bronco Sports available. We did test drive the Bronco, and my head fits in that just fine. It's more the American-made stuff that seems to have more of the headroom. They're more designed for taller people, I guess. So we're probably going to go check out a Bronco Sport at some point. Could probably, there is better stock of that. Are you that? I'm 6'4", so I'm not like freakishly tall. I'm very tall. But then I started looking it up, and like there are Reddit threads of how little headroom 4Runners have, like even throughout all the generations. It's like some people are saying I'm 6'1" and my head hits the ceiling, or people who aren't even 6 feet at all. If they wear a hat, they can't drive. It's like they can't wear a hat and drive at the same time. Yeah, it's because it looks tall from the outside, right? You get in it and then 4Runners of the late 90s were the best, plus you could get them with a standard transmission too. Yeah, it's hard to find anything with a standard transmission anymore. I think they're still considered mid-size. Yeah, they're not small though, right? That's what like the Toyota RAV4 and like the Nissan Juke and stuff are for. Those are smaller ones, CRVs. This is definitely mid-size, but it's a large car for sure. It's just not gigantic like you would get with an Escalade or Ford Expedition or something. I'm 5'9", so 6'4" is giant. Like, yeah. I would say 6'4" is mainstream tall, right? You can meet somebody who's 6'4" and not be like asking them if they play professional basketball or anything like that, right? It's mainstream tall. Every once in a while, I run into somebody who's taller than me, and I'm like, whoa. But but 2 of those times was I don't know how many people follow basketball, but one time there was Brooke and Robin Lopez that were at my local Target, and I was like, whoa, those guys are tall. Oh wait, that's Brooke and Robin Lopez. They're like centers in the NBA, twin brothers who are centers for different teams in the NBA. But I guess they live here, or one of them actually played for the Suns for a while, so they were probably just visiting or whatever. And the other time I saw Shaq here at the same Target. It was crazy. And both of those people, I was like, whoa, that guy's tall. Oh, that's who that is. But if I see somebody else who's 6'4" or around my height, it doesn't really, I don't do a double take at it. The Sequoia, the full size now. Yeah, there's also the Land Cruiser, I think, which is bigger and more expensive. But yeah, it's kind of out of how much money we want to spend on something like that. And we don't want like a mom mobile either. Like we don't have kids or anything, so we don't want to drive a car that makes it look like we have kids. So the Highlander is like out. May as well just be driving a minivan at that point. Okay, what the hell am I doing? I don't think I need any of this stuff yet. Let's accumulate some chems. Go do some stuff. Let's go talk to Saul. Vladimir Saul. I have a friend from high school that's 6'7", I run into every couple of years. That's tall. Yeah, that would make me do a double take, right? And I guess that's only 3 inches taller than where I'm at. But yeah, that's not mainstream tall. That's outside the norm of outside of the realm of normal tall. Why? This is why no one's moving cars. Oh, because of the, yeah, just pricing is crazy. And actually, interest rates are shockingly low for a car. They're definitely below like the what the Fed has set the rates at. We were looking at financing on like a new Bronco Sport, and it's like around 2.4%, I think. With, you know, you got to have good interest or good credit and everything, but that's way below like whatever, like the 6-7% they have it set at now.
If it isn't a man, anyone who doesn't charge into a room swinging is a friend in my book. Tried crossing all the T's with the information you unloaded to Sarah and the others. I've got good news and bad. Good news is the eyes found what you're looking for. Bad news is they're not in the places you said they'd be.
Okay, well, hand me the locations.
Here's the data. Managed to find a planet that might have one of those temples you talked about as well. Can probably find more.
Now, people
temples
say
if I
that
have
the
enough
artifacts
time
are all in the
to
same
cross-reference.
exact location as
Come
they
back
were
when you've
before,
given the
but
first one the thorough comb.
I haven't been paying that much attention to exactly where each one of these artifacts are or the temples are, but they feel like they might be in different places, right? I don't know. I guess I just got to take other people's words for it who have been paying more attention to where these things are. Now, so I love this game, right? I've been defending this game against criticism a lot. I think not to the point where I'm like white knighting for it. If I am, then like that's annoying and you should call me out on it. But I do genuinely love this game, and I've been having a ton of fun with it, and I'm probably going to be playing it for hundreds, if not thousands more hours. But I do have some criticisms of it. It's like, this game is by no means perfect, right? I am under no illusion that this game is, you know, the greatest thing since sliced bread. I do know that it has its issues, as all BGS games do. And one of them is that a lot of the really great content, like this New Game Plus stuff, is hidden behind like these overly stingy RNG algorithms. I think if people were able to find like stuff like this, like your doppelganger on a New Game Plus run, like right away, they would be like more apt to, you know, keep doing New Game Plus runs, right? I think I've heard that there's a 5% chance of something wacky happening whenever you do a New Game Plus run, something like this. That should be like 95% or 90%. It should be more likely for something like this to happen, because then it's like, it makes a New Game Plus run more exciting. Why are you hiding that? It's like casinos putting like machines that are more likely to hit like a jackpot toward the entrance so it attracts more people. It's like, stop hiding your best content from your most casual audience. Get it out there. And the same thing with legendary roles. Legendary, until you get very high level and you're playing on the hardest difficulties and everything, those legendaries are going to be very, very rare and hard to find for a long time. And a lot of them aren't even that powerful. Why not just make them roll much, much more often? Like 10 times more often, 20 times more often, 100 times more often. Make people like more excited to fight a boss character or find a chest or something like that. Right now, it's like you go 10, 20, 30, 40 hours without seeing a legendary, and then when you finally do, it's subpar, right? I feel like the disappointment with how weak a lot of these legendary items are would be mitigated if we saw them much, much more often, right? I don't know. Those are my thoughts. Those are my complaints. And also, like, the perk spread. It's like, buildcraft is hard in this game because there's not a lot of synergy. There's not a lot of unexpected things that you can do between skills and things like that. There's not a lot of unexpected combinations between the power you get from this perk and the power you get from this perk. So, and then combining them to create something that's even more powerful. There's nothing like that that I've seen yet. Skyrim, there was stuff like that with like the was that perk that the restoration stuff is much more powerful if you're undead. I know in Ordinators like Necromanticon or something like that, but yeah, there's nothing like that in this game that I found. I feel like they're sacrificing fun for balance, and the balance isn't good anyway, so give us our fun back. So yeah, those are my biggest critiques. But I mean, I feel like level progression is pretty perfect in this game. I don't think you level up too fast or too slow. I think it's just the right amount. They give you plenty to do in this game that stays fun. A lot of people just don't like the exploration, but you don't have to do that. You can completely ignore the exploration, shipbuilding, settlement building, all that if you don't like it. And there's still plenty of other stuff to do. There's more cities to explore. There's more No, I did not mean to do that. There's more handcrafted stuff in this game than there is in any other BGS game. It's just it's more spread out, so it feels like there's not as it's like not as dense, right? But there's still plenty to do. If you're doing it right, you're not getting bored with the game. The camera is absolutely horrible in the game. Okay, I remember you saying that last time, and I had like no idea why you were saying that, because the camera seems great to me. And the more I read about it, the more it's a mouse and keyboard versus controller thing. The camera is constant shifting third-person cam specifically. First is fine. Okay. Yeah, I have very, very little issue with it. Third-person cam is a little wonky, but not enough for me to actually have any annoyance with it at all. To me, it's smooth, it works well, and it seems like it's a mouse and keyboard versus controller thing. There's like a lot more like hitchiness and jankiness and glitchiness with mouse movement, and that's one thing that they are planning to fix with this beta build that they have out. I don't know how well it works because I'm not a mouse and keyboard player, but for controller players, it's great. And that has been a big complaint against of hardcore PC players, is a lot of these new games being tuned for controllers, but that's where most people are. But I would say that, like, yeah, I can see how that would be annoying when a game has been like, it's lived at on PC for so long. That's where like the headquarters of the player base has been, and all of a sudden now they're tuning for controller and console players. But that's where the mainstream is, unfortunately. Yeah, a lot of people complain about like this interstellar and interplanetary travel being like boring and overly menu-y and too many load screens and stuff, but that doesn't bother me at all. I don't have a problem with it. I don't know why. I'd rather the legendary be more rare, but way better stats and random. Yeah, I feel like a lot of the legendary effects are underwhelming, and that should be fixed. And that's probably something that modders will fix too, right? But that's a crutch. I get that. But yeah, I guess my argument is if they're easier to obtain, then the lack of power isn't as big of a deal. I will say that I wish there were unique weapons in here too. Like, give us some Starborn weapons that have actual non-random effects and things on them. So that we can build off of it. So give us a weapon where we know it's going to spawn, or when it's going to spawn if you're doing Starborn New Game Plus playthroughs. And we know what the effects are going to be, so we know what perks to take to make it stronger before we get it. I make it strong. Master Lock chest with 7 seconds. Yeah, it's been around forever, hasn't it? Necromage is what I was looking for. Ordinator doesn't have it. No, it has like a watered down version of it that doesn't give you all the crazy restoration loops that the vanilla game did.
We won't get much further without our suits.
Sacrificing fun for balance, and the balance isn't great. Yeah, I mean that's classic BGS though, right? I think they're listening to so people are obsessed with balance. It's like the loudest people that complain about BGS games is that they're not balanced. And this balance, this idea of balance, especially for a single player game, is like so like nebulous, and like what does it mean, what should it be, and it means something different to everybody. It's ridiculous. You shouldn't chase balance in a single player game. You should chase fun, right? It should be fun to try new builds out, as far as like, okay, role playing is something different, right? Ideally you would want your perks and your gameplay and all that to feed back into roleplay and have the roleplay feed back into that. With mods, you can get there with Skyrim, but like no game with like any kind of advanced, complicated perk systems or RPG mechanics or anything, no game like that is balanced. You're gonna find stuff that's way too easy, that's way too broken, and you're gonna find stuff that's way too hard to play on the hardest difficulty levels, right? The balance there is, you know, making it so it's not so easy as to be quote unquote broken, to where it's like you're not even playing the game anymore, but that it's not too hard to where it's like you're gonna turn everybody off and nobody's gonna want to play it, or that they start chasing a meta, right? That's like the worst thing you can do is, for like a single player game with high replayability, is to funnel everybody into one meta build archetype like a sneak archer, right? That's just the easiest example. That's not like you can play Skyrim on legendary difficulty with a sword and board. It's going to be harder, but that's what you kind of want to avoid by making the game too hard. It's like, all right, give me 30 to 40 levels of progression to where it's tough but doable. And then after there, I want to feel completely overpowered as hell. Give me that and I'll be happy with your so-called balance, right? Okay, new gun's working well. That was only a level 10 spacer. So he's not going to have the most health, but he has probably roughly 3 times the amount of health that he would have on normal difficulty, a non-new game plus play. And we were able to get him with 1 sneak headshot. So, okay, our damage output is good. So yeah, I think creators of these action RPGs don't listen to the cries of a game being too easy or unbalanced. If your game is fun, then it's balanced enough, right? Go for fun. Go for a wide gamut of different build archetypes that you can use. And then to hell with balance. I don't care about balance after that. 0 attention span. I love the load screens and all that. Yeah, no, the load screens aren't bad in this game. The world of Starfield makes me wonder what happened to the Mer and Beast folk. Well, at least different races, right? I would hope in an expansion we get some kind of mention of where these artifacts come from, where the Unity comes from. It had to start somewhere, right? This can't be the beginning of all of it. And, well, I guess it could, but where did that come from? And maybe some alien stuff. I want to see some alien stuff. It's a space game with no aliens. Oh, okay, you have alien monsters, right? That's why I like my own setups in Skyrim. I make that shit so hard that Requiem looks like a little bitch. Yeah, once I get OP, the game is over and achieved my goal. Yeah, sure. That sounds fun to me. That's why I dislike Simon's mod. They water the game down, but they're more balanced. So people who are always chasing that quote-unquote balance, if that's fun for them, then cool. Knock yourself out. Here's Simon Rim for you. Yes, that's the thing, is everything starts to feel homogenous. You can make a completely balanced game, but it's gonna feel the same every time you play it. Every build's gonna feel the same because there's no ebb and flow to the power. You're the protagonist, you're supposed to be a bit above the yeah, you're supposed to feel stronger. Every RPG is supposed to be like a power rush, right? People like Nintendo had it right. The dungeon masters who made Requiem have it right as well. Nice, yeah. And Anai modeled his stuff off of Diablo. Whether or not you like that type of game, their skill trees and everything are fantastic. They enable so much creativity in like the gameplay portion of a build that you can play that game over and over and over again. And that's why people play those games for 10 years. And people complain about balance all the time in those, but it's that's not, as long as it's viable at a certain difficulty level and you're still, you know, getting those legendary rolls at a good clip, who cares about balance? And so anyway, I've been on this anti-balance kick for a while because Anai put on his subreddit, he was trying to figure out how to rebalance Ordinator for his Futhark stuff, and I was like imploring him to not listen to people who are complaining about balance and just make sure that you keep a wide gamut of builds viable, from, you know, to build 30 or to level 30 or 40. Give us a wide gamut of overpowered shit that we can do and we'll be happy. Everybody complaining about balance has Simon Rim.
It's just not here. Listen, the boss said it's here, so it's here.
I shouldn't really be sneaky here. Yeah, you're not supposed to be here either. Oh, he took a headshot. Look at that. Ah.
That's the best you got?
Okay, so I am playing on the hardest difficulty level on New Game Plus 7, and I have been touting the difficulty of the game at this, but we are still in a very low level area right now. So these are low level enemies. I haven't seen anything higher than level 10, one-shotting most people. But I think before the end of the stream, we'll go to a high level planet. And we'll see just how hard this stuff gets. Man, I'm talking mad shit over there without actually doing anything. Other me is kind of a chihuahua, I think. Nah, he's a noob. It's all right. He's straight from the mine. Just had his first artifact experience. He's got a lot of growing to do. He's not New Game Plus 7. He doesn't even know what New Game Plus is yet. Oh, nice sidestep.
You better run while you can. Here, over here. Opening fire. Let's get out of here.
Okay, that's a boss character. He has 3 health bars there that I'm trying to get through. That's why he took so many shots, and he probably has, yeah. That is an epic pack there. And he's got Squall. I might be able to make something out of that. That's a pretty good chem. Actually, and I needs to tell these kids to shut the fuck up. Yeah, I kind of think so too. And I knows what he's doing. Even some of the newer stuff, Triumvirate needs another pass, I think. But the balance on that is fine. It has some really good stuff in there. He just needs to refine some of it and you'll be good. But Ordinator is great. It's fantastic. It makes even like the weakest heavy armored warrior sword and board build from vanilla, which makes it hard, or even like a barbarian build that is like what you were saying in one of your streams earlier this week, Magus. It makes it viable, right? It doesn't make it easy in any way, right? But it still makes it viable. You can do it. Good luck doing that with like Simon Rim, or even like Valkyrie would be hard too. I think I may have a different idea of fair balance and cheating than most. To me, forging 200 daggers for an hour kills the realism. I'd rather just set my skill. Yeah, I mean, again, single player, right? And to be fair, it's like, what are you actually missing by skipping that grind, right? For me, I'm one of those weirdos who, if it's going to move the level up to enable something, then yeah, I'm probably more likely just to stay in game, grind out those 200 daggers or whatever, get to a certain level and then move on. But I can totally see, like, just consoling in the player.adv skill for smithing to get to a certain point. That's just saving you time. It's not to say that you couldn't have bought all the materials or, you know, mined it from an iron mine and then created all those daggers on your own. You're just getting there faster, right? It's like, okay, I know how to do this. What am I actually losing out on by just consoling in the skill, right? Same with... Oops. Same with, like, just consoling in money, right? Money in Skyrim, after a certain point, is, like, just very easy come, easy go. You're gonna have more of it than you know what to do with. After you, like, build up your Hearthfire houses and buy all the houses and do all the training and everything. You can make as much money as you want. You can print free money in Skyrim by doing, by cutting firewood and selling it to an innkeeper. If you have the time and patience to sit there and watch that animation go over and over again, you can make all the money you'll ever need, right? And what's the difference between doing that and just skipping the animation and just saying, you know, console in player.add item, what's the code, like 1 times 1,000 or 10,000 or 100,000. Just give yourself all that money. I mean, I'm more likely to cut the firewood or actually play the game to get that stuff, but I'm not gonna say, hey, you're a cheater for not doing it, because I understand completely logically why you're doing it. I get it. I just really don't get people complaining about, you know, cheating in a single player game. And I even have, like, my regular people who show up on my build guides and say, like, kind of, maybe not overtly accusing me of cheating on things, but, like, kind of asking questions about how, like, why is that so powerful? That's not that powerful on my game and things like that. And sometimes we can have a constructive conversation about, like, how I actually got there. Or how using an uncapper is... It enables certain power that you're not going to have in a vanilla game, but this isn't a vanilla build type thing. My videos are not to show how good I am at the game. I'm just trying to show you how to have more fun with the game. It's like, this is a build guide that you can have for a really fun build. Follow this. You can do all these things in the game. I'm not saying look how awesome I am at this game. I'm saying look at this awesome thing you can do in the game, right? I've been accused of I don't know, clout chasing, I guess, a little bit. I don't know how you clout chase in Skyrim or Fallout. I'm just saying this game is viable on legendary difficulty, or this build is viable on legendary difficulty, which is important to me. The build should be strong enough. You need some measure of how strong a build is and how viable it is on what difficulty levels, and if you know that a build is viable on legendary difficulty, then you know it's going to be viable at all difficulties. So, I don't know. I'm not chasing any clout. I'm just trying to share the good word. Show you some really fun stuff that you can do in a 12-year-old game, you know? Oops. Screwed that up. Now what? Yeah, I gotta back all the way out. there's a huge rift between the vanilla crowd and the modded crowd. Yeah, but if you're a vanilla person, then avoid modded builds, right? I don't need you coming into my modded build and being like, this is broken, that's broken, why can't I do this in vanilla? It's terrible. I got news for all those people. The vanilla game is broken as hell too. Right? Stop complaining that a broken game is broken, even with mods or without mods. There we go, that works. The reverse is true too. Yep, exactly. Don't act like your vanilla Skyrim is perfectly balanced and harder than my modded Skyrim is. Because I can point to you, you know, 100 different reasons why that's not true either. But I don't argue about it because I don't care, because that's not the point, right? The point is having fun. Getting some unique juice out of a 12-year-old game. Things you didn't know you could do in the game. Combinations that you didn't know existed. Roleplay opportunities that you didn't see the first time around. Things that mods enable. That maybe you didn't think of. That's what it's all about. That's why I watch build videos. Have I had enough? Did somebody just yell at me, had enough, through like 7 different walls without even touching me? I guess other me is not the only chihuahua in this place. You argue it? Yeah, it's fine. Some people were just born with a little more piss and vinegar in their system, and they don't mind arguing all the time. I'd rather avoid it. Is there another Starborn in here protecting this place? I'm gonna need the Calamite for a lot of these broken-ass chems that I want to create, so let's mine some of that while we're here. Yeah, if you do mod it in the correct ways, it is better than vanilla. I wouldn't make it a complete blanket statement. There are some people's modded games that I would probably prefer vanilla to. Let's face it. But I would probably actually prefer Simon Rim to vanilla, to be honest. It takes away some things, but also fixes a lot of things, right? So some overhauls and things, yeah, I would almost rather have something modded than vanilla. There's a lot of crap that, okay, so the Skyrim perk tree is small to begin with, right? It's very limited, it's very narrow with what you can do with it. But also a lot of it just doesn't work, either because it's bugged out, but more likely because it's just quote-unquote balanced into the point of being just completely ineffective. Like the whole critical strike thing, crits do not work because they operate off of base weapon damage levels, which is like nothing compared to like enchantments. That's a bug they need to fix too, is getting that reverse scope. Okay, we got a tough one here. We got a live one. That one had like 4 life bars on it. Okay, so this one was level 24, I think. Got a Furious Shoddy on it. The Furious is a very good effect. Anyway, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the crit stuff in the vanilla Skyrim tree is useless because it's base damage for that weapon. But it doesn't consider like boosted damage from enchantments, from potions, from like stuff that you like smithed up. So it's like you end up getting like an extra 4 or 5 damage from it, or something stupid, like maybe a couple dozen points of damage when you're dealing hundreds and hundreds of points of damage. It's like completely useless. That's one of the things that you just skip completely. Same with anything in the lockpicking skill. Don't ever put anything into lockpicking if you're doing vanilla Skyrim. But pretty much any perk overhaul will do things like fix the critical strike system, or at least get rid of it and replace it with something else. Do not have very many digipicks left. Or add things to like the lockpicking tree to make you actually at least consider. I screwed myself here, didn't I? At least consider taking some perks in it. Yep, I'm done. And I don't have any lockpicks left. Alright, screwed that up. Whatever. There probably wasn't anything good in there anyway. Yeah, so in that regard, I would say, like, definitely any perk overhaul is better than vanilla perks. Oh, there's some more. Probably still not worth the digipicks going back anyway. Alright, let's get out of here. I think I've been playing way too much Elden Ring. Elden Ring was great. Talk about balance. The problem with that game is that it's too hard for the vast majority of the mainstream audience, even though it sold like hotcakes. I feel like it probably didn't come close to what Starfield was getting as far as like player numbers and things like that. Maybe it did. But yes, I love Elden Ring as well. I would get back to it, but there are just way too many other great games to play. And at the end of the day, I am a little bit of a BGS stan. Can't help it. I love their jank. I love the stank of their jank. NG+ on Starfield and now NG+ on Elden Ring. Yeah, I rolled credits. Oops. I rolled credits on Elden Ring that year. That was last year, right? That was the big Elden Ring versus God of War Ragnarok face-off. Both amazing games. I picked Elden Ring as my game of the year, even though I played both of them and loved both of them. Elden Ring just it gave you the feels through gameplay and setting and world building, whereas God of War was a little more explicit in how it was giving you the feels, right? But yeah, loved Elden Ring. Would love to do another play. I did an astrologer playthrough, and I did a build guide for a Skyrim astrologer, and it was a freaking awesome build. I was very proud of it. It came out really well. Making me look up these terms I hear the kids say. What, Elden Ring? Watching Karn and Karn take on Spacers. Yep, Spacers don't stand a chance. I kind of want to go to a higher level system. Let's see, Eridani V. This is level 20. This is a little higher, I guess. Stan is my uncle, not a fan stalker. Okay, gotcha. I'm just trying to keep up with the Joneses, you know? I want to stay relevant. And I want to be able to communicate with younger people. Video games are a young man's game. Young man's industry. This is a weird Skyrim mod. Yes, indeed. Well, considering that Skyrim is an Oblivion mod, Fallout 4 was a Skyrim mod, and now Starfield is a Fallout 4 mod. That's just the way game engines work. Nothing worse than an aging hipster, though. That's true. Made by non-young people as well. Magus hitting with those Dr. Evil lines. Yes, indeed.
I really hope that sound was you.
Nope. There's a level 18 Ecliptic right up here. We got a fight on our hands here, other me. So, Hybrid Avenger, you said you're on New Game Plus. Did you get any, like, of the weird New Game Plus stuff yet? Because I have myself as a follower now. This is a vanilla game. It took me New Game Plus 7 to get one of those weird restart things. You haven't yet? Yeah, it's too rare. I feel like they're burying the lead a little bit with making the RNG so strict on these New Game Plus rolls. Yeah, so the enemies are already more spongy, and look at my health bar. This wouldn't be happening unless you're, you know... Oh, do I have... I don't even have any med packs, do I? Oh, I have 13 of them. Why aren't they favorited? Yeah, New Game Plus 7 is a lot harder than regular hardest difficulty level. The player's damage reduction is completely nerfed to the point where you really have to do a lot to buff up your own damage resistance. Otherwise, you're going to get smoked immediately. And enemies' damage resistance are well, no, that's not true. Their health bars are buffed up a lot, and they do a lot of damage. So their damage output is buffed. Your damage input is nerfed. Your damage reduction is nerfed. And they have a ton more health. So they're a little more spongy. You still do the same amount of damage. You're just fighting healthier enemies. Maldaroth is late. Completely spaced it. Oh, I get it. I see what you did there, Maldaroth. Oh, Magus sees what you did there too. Welcome, buddy. Hope you're doing well. That's another gripe I have. You physically have those med packs, but stolen breaks your hotkeys of them. Stolen breaks your hotkeys of them? Sorry, I don't... there's probably a minor typo over there that I should know exactly what you're talking about, but I don't. Feeling dumb. Maybe another thing that I don't have to worry about as a controller player because the hotkey system is completely tuned for controller players. Ooh, a level 42 Ecliptic Specialist. He's gonna take a lot. Is there another dude over here? Are you dead yet? Where'd they go? Yeah, he's dead. He might have a legendary on him. Or she.
Let's end this.
They escaped. They went outside. All right. Well, let's take this opportunity to figure out what kind of goodies we got from our Ecliptic bot. Oh, a rare. Got a superior pack there. It's cool that I'm starting to see its superior stuff. So the rankings of the items, they go from regular to refined to calibrated to advanced and then superior. So it's cool that I'm seeing superior stuff now. At level 73, yeah. Magpulse is an awesome rifle, but it's not a laser, so I'm not using it. Gotta accumulate more digipicks. Early game, it's like, it's hard to justify using digipicks because the rewards that you get for unlocking chests are just so not worth it. If you're playing a stealth character, it's more worth it because you get to unlock like more stealthy routes. Ooh, 2 epics on that guy. More guys way over there. Haven't used a controller since 2018. Yeah, I mean, it's the same hotkey system that Fallout 4 used, and that was like obviously way more attuned to controllers than it was to keyboards. And even the vanilla Skyrim UI was designed for controller players. So they've been making concessions to keyboard and mouse players in order to cater to controller players for a long time. It's not just this game. But I feel like you can still use hotkeys, right? You don't have to do the whole favorites thing. Every time you want to use something with mouse and keyboard, you can just hit the hotkey. Toon looks like a warlock from Destiny 2. Yeah, kinda, right? And it even has like the floaty stuff. Isn't it the warlocks that can float around in the air? I played Destiny for a long time. I didn't really play much of Destiny 2, but I played Destiny 1 for a while. It got a little too grindy for me. I don't mind a grindy game as long as the grind is fun, right? But that got a little too much. Talk about games being stingy with their loot. Destiny was like the worst with that. Especially early game Destiny. Early Destiny 1. They might have fixed their loot system since I stopped playing, but... Knock him down with a jetpack and then shoot him in the butthole as he falls down. Talk about how there's no cool gameplay combos in Starfield. I guess I just called myself a liar right there. Proved myself wrong. The old knock him down with the jetpack and shoot him in the butthole gag. You like the outfit? Hey, Wind. Welcome, welcome. Hope you're feeling at least a little better today. I heard that you got caught with a bug or something. Coughing and headache. Hope you're getting a little better. Yeah, the outfit is a Starborn outfit. This is the one you get on New Game Plus 7. They are programmed to release in a very specific order every time you start a New Game Plus. This is New Game Plus 7, and it is called Starborn Spacesuit Gravitas. Pretty cool with the like the tabard and everything, the toga with the physics enabled on it. I'm a fan. I like the Starborn stuff in this. The only gripe I have about the Starborn stuff is I wish you could upgrade it. It's very cool looking. I think it's arguably cooler looking than most of the other gear that you get in the game as far as spacesuits. But it's inherently less powerful because it's only one piece, so you only get 3 different effects on it. And if those effects that you randomly roll on it aren't useful, like what I have here, then you're stuck with subpar effects for however long you want to use it. But also, you can't upgrade it, any one piece of it. So you'll be able to piece together stuff during your playthrough that's stronger, and this eventually will become underpowered and almost useless if you find better stuff. But definitely looks cool, huh? It'll get you through the early game of New Game Plus anyway. And that is One Piece, yeah. Still not feeling it, hoping to be better tomorrow. Okay, well, we're all rooting for you. Virtual hugs all the way around. Long distance hugs so that we don't catch whatever bugs going around. They may have. Haven't played yet. I heard a lot of bad reports. Can't say that the loot issues were one. Okay. Mechanized is super underrated. Carry White. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's useful for most people who play PGS games, but I'm like weirdly good about inventory management, right? Yeah, I'm pretty good about limiting what I pick up. If you're playing like a hauler or any like settlement management build or anything, then yeah, but I mean, you can over encumber yourself and still run. It'll hurt you as far as your health bar, but you won't die from it as long as people aren't shooting at you. So for me, it's less useful. Maybe if I were playing a character concept that relied on it a little bit more, it would be more useful, but ah, geez, there's that stupid bug again. It almost makes me want to stop using scoped weapons. So that's probably the most annoying bug. Even more annoying than the head looking to the left the entire time is the scope bug, where every once in a while, where you go from third person and you go to aim down sights with a scoped weapon, he'll just be pointing behind you all of a sudden for some reason. It'll keep doing it over and over again. I haven't seen it if you play in first person view, so maybe that's why people aren't complaining about it as much as I am, but since I play in third person view and I use scoped weapons, it's very annoying for me. That's probably my #1 culprit. And I haven't seen yet that that's anything getting patched in the release notes of any of these new packs yet. So hopefully they get to it sooner than later. I guess I could just play in first person view, but I like to see my character, you know? I like to show him off. Thank you, you're welcome, The Wind. I've seen your Skyrim plays. Well, yeah. I get over encumbered, but I'm usually pretty good about. So if I play not on stream, I don't want to take up all my streams with inventory management, right? And so I end up picking up a lot and not like selling it how I normally would, or doing crafting runs like I normally would off stream, because I don't think it makes compelling footage. And I don't want to spend an entire stream doing that, or any kind of significant percentage of my stream doing that. So I do tend to get a little more over encumbered, but if I'm playing off stream, I do my vendor runs, my crafting runs and everything, and I usually have zero issue with being encumbered. Oh, it's a baby terramorph. Because they won't fix major stuff we all notice and talk about. Managing that 655 or 700 carry weight out of 700. Yeah, there you go. To be fair, my carry weight has been higher this play than I wanted, but nothing breaking. Yeah, especially for a thief character. I don't play a ton of thief characters, and when I do, I try to roleplay that he targets specific items so as not to arouse suspicion that there's a thief going around. They're much less likely to miss or like not miss one or two specific items than they are to notice that everything of value in their entire house is missing. Is that another baby terramorph? It is. Nip that in the bud. It's strange to me that with so many new game pluses, with how powerful you can become, the jetpack is still... Okay. The jetpack is still just like a jump boost. Yeah. I would like to see maybe mods adjust jetpacks to become like actual jetpacks at some point. That would be cool. Right now they're just jump packs. And I feel like if you had actual jetpacks instead of just jump packs or skip packs or whatever, that it would allay a lot of the complaints about not having vehicles. Now, the reason they do it that way might just be because of their streaming system. They're not able to, you know, load in that much of the world that quickly for faster traversal, but I don't know. I feel like even on Xbox, the transfer speeds of storage these days are more than good enough, unless their game is just horribly unoptimized, which is a very real possibility that it is. Really? Can't get that stuff? There we go. Also, you tend to play your last long playthrough. I think Magus was a miner, so I can tell how like having a lot of ore and stuff would weigh you down really quick, and you would need that. You'd need that extra carry weight for that. I have been a Cyberneticist, which does a lot of crafting, but it's like I haven't really found a lot of materials that I have to go mine myself or gather myself. I can just find it. Oh, that's a Tonto there. Cool weapon. I hear another. Oh, that's a Xeno grub. I don't mind them so much as the heat leeches that pose a problem. Yeah, this is more of just a laser specialist with using gear as defense and powers as defense. My other character is a cyber runner, which I might show off today a little bit. Non-mined ores physically there, but unable to mine them. Ooh. I haven't run into a lot of that, to be honest. I have noticed that there was a bug in Skyrim, especially if you have like a lot of script lag, where you enter an ore or like a mine, and there would be like a certain amount of veins that you would go to click on, and just nothing would happen, and that vein would be just bugged for the rest of the save file. Now I wonder if that's kind of the same thing that's going on with some of this. Oh, non-mined stuff. Okay. Probably like most of the non-mined ore is hitbox issue or whatever it's called. It could be. Yeah, we all know that BGS games are really finicky with those selection boxes with stuff that's just laying around. Okay, are these more spacers? That definitely looks like a spacer ship. I'll fight more spacers. I don't mind. Oh, wow. Why would you put a mine there? Interesting decisions by these mine placers. Ooh, shipbuilding is something I really want to get into, but I really want to hit New Game 10, or New Game Plus 10 first. Pussy! Coward! Get out of your ship and fight me. There's one more I killed here. Oh yeah, there he is. People approaching the facility. Yeah, but it was like on top of this outcrop over here, right? It wasn't on like a main pathway. It was just like, unless I was mistaken about where it was actually at, it was like up here. Well, okay, yeah, with low gravity and stuff, I feel like, yeah, you might be able to approach the facility from this outcrop over here if you get a good enough running start, and then if you have a jetpack, it's trivial. So yeah, maybe it wasn't a terribly stupid mine placement. Definitely not a high traffic area though. So, Wind, now that you're here, so New Game Plus wackiness that I'm talking about in the title of this stream. Let's get on the ship first. I'll let you know. I'll show you what's going on here. Who are you traveling with? That's the surprise. I finally got one of these wacky New Game Plus roles that people were talking about. It's taken me forever. I'm on New Game Plus 7 and I finally got my first one. Karn is with Karn. Yes, look. It's me. So I walked into the lodge for the first time. And this guy was getting initiated into Constellation. And I walked in and they were all like, what the hell is going on now? And I was like, what the hell is going on now? But, you know, I talked with him and we completely hit it off. Right? Who knew? Oh, you're okay, Magus. We were basically there anyway. I just needed to get him out of his spacesuit. Which, you know, if I met myself would be my #1 priority anyway, right? Getting him out of the spacesuit. You're okay. No problem. Yeah, we had so much in common. We have lots to talk about. But the crazy part is, and I didn't expect this.
What's on the agenda today?
He has dialogue. They completely fleshed him out with all kinds of dialogue. He like comments on stuff. You can ask him personal questions.
Can't exactly keep
it's
secrets
all
for
fleshed
myself,
out.
Can I?
You have any questions about me?
So many. I'm still getting used to this whole traveling with myself thing.
It's crazy they put something like this in the game.
This is kind of an obvious one, but I've been wondering what you think the biggest difference is between our universes.
There's no gravity in my universe. The universe is just like mine. The biggest difference is me. That's completely true. In my universe, one of the Constellation members is dead. I'm the only version of myself that exists in my old universe. That's not really true either. Yeah, this universe is just like mine. The biggest difference is just me.
That's a pretty heady thought, boss.
Yeah.
You're really starting to sound like an all-knowing, universe-hopping starborn.
Well,
what about your family?
Been around the universe a few times.
Pretty close with my parents. Are you? Were you?
No, my parents and I were never really close.
I see. I guess there really are differences between our universes.
A little bit.
Let's see. What else? Here's a good one. If our roles were reversed and I was the Starborn instead, would you have joined my crew?
If I could go at it again, I'd have left Constellation and go back to my old rise. I don't think so. The whole thing would have been too weird. Hell no, I would have taken the job. You can't pass up a chance of that kind of adventure, right?
That's why I took it.
Hell yeah.
I'm the only person in history who's ever gotten an offer like that. Passing it up seemed like a bad call. For what it's worth, I'm glad you're the captain and I'm the crewmate. You're a way better pilot than me. If I was at the helm, this ship would be a pile of scrap on some uninhabited moon by now. But I do have one more question for you, if you're up for it.
Hit me.
Do you ever miss your home universe?
Oh, this is a deep question. Oh, man. So in my original universe, I romanced Sarah, right? And we picked that because, or I picked that because we were both in a very vulnerable place at the same time. And she, like through dialogue options and stuff like that, she made leaving that universe a very hard decision. But she had completely intended on stepping through the universe herself at a later date. So it was inevitable that we're going to split up, but that leaves this character with like a huge hole in his heart. So
what are
yes,
we waiting for? Let's go.
I'm thinking about it. Me. Yes, I miss home all the time.
Must be tough. I hope you don't regret it too much. If it makes things any easier, I'm really happy you're here.
Speaking of, is there a way to move that emotes section on the right? It's in the worst spot ever because you can't delete my... Yeah, it's tough, right? I don't know that you can or not. And to be honest, I haven't been part of a lot of YouTube streams. Everybody I follow live streams for is all on Twitch, so I don't actually do a lot of YouTube chatting. Make up your mind. I mean, other Karn. So, do you think you and I are similar?
Yes and no. You're a lot wiser than I am. Maybe going through that Unity thing does that to a person, knowing...
I have a cooler beard, that's for sure.
This could all turn out. Must weigh on you. And you're a better pilot than I am too, and better with a gun. But I may have you beat as a miner, though. Sounds like you didn't do it as long as I did. To tell you the truth, I'm glad there are some differences between us. Makes me feel more... me. You know? More like a person, and less like an echo of you.
It's made our conversations a lot more interesting, that's for sure.
Good chat.
I don't know about this better mining thing though, buddy. Did you see me cutting up that Calamite in that artifact mine? I mean, I still know my way around a cutter. But alright, I'll let you have something. I'm a better pilot, I'm a better gunfighter, I'm wiser. I guess I can't just be better all around, can I? Yes, I can. Anyway, that's really cool. And he comments on stuff that you do throughout the game, just like any other follower. It's just, you have a very exceedingly low chance of ever seeing this guy in the game. Do I approve of his voice? I actually don't mind his voice at all. It's pretty close. His voice is middle of the road. It's very unoffensive, I think. 9 out of 10? Yeah, 9 out of 10 works for me. It's pretty cold. 4 degrees in Fahrenheit is 39.2. Oh, it's cold out there where you're from, James, in the UK? 39 is pretty cold. It does get cold. I'm in one of the hottest parts of the world, and it does get a little colder there. Desert is kind of a funky climate, right? It gets really cold at night in the winter because you don't have the moisture to keep the heat in. So in dry climates, the cold is like bone chilling cold. It's terrible. But then the heat is this terrible heat too. Oh, okay. Let's go pick up one more artifact. Actually, we need to switch to Power from Beyond. So let's go talk to Vladimir, unlock some temples. Oh, before we do that, let's actually, let's go back to Alpha Centauri. We're gonna pick up a mission from the mission boards here at New Atlantis. And then we're gonna see what, well, actually New Game +7, I feel like I've, level 40 enemies were doing that much damage to me, so I think we're okay. Before we start the temple grind, I kind of do want to show off my new character here as well. So let's do that. I'm going to do a hard save here. Man, balancing so many games is hard, even just like remembering how to navigate menus and stuff. I have a Skyrim character going with the shaman assassin. We'll get back to them. Oh, I'm not going to be streaming next week, by the way. So 2 weeks from today, I'll be going back to the shaman assassin. I'll have him to a point where I can show off some stuff. But I also have another character going on with Starfield here. And I do have a Cyberpunk 2077 character going on too. And I have a Diablo 4 character going on as well. So just trying to keep up with all these characters in different games and trying to get the controls right has been a challenge. That's for sure. Neon, I didn't want to go to Neon. But Neon does have a mission board, so we'll go pick up. Gotta go to Neon anyway. Oh, no, we are going to Neon because this is the Cyber Runner. This isn't the Cyberneticist. See, I'm getting confused again. You have no kids around? Yeah, there you go. Take advantage. Yeah, no, this is beautiful weather time for where I'm from. This is pretty much ideal for me. So highs of, you know, mid 70s to 80s in Fahrenheit and lows in the 50s. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. You can wear a hoodie when it gets cool.
Captain, hello. I am satisfied to see that you survived your most recent sleep cycle.
And then warm enough for a t-shirt and jeans when it warms up, and it's like pleasant in the shade. It's a little warm in the sun, but that's okay. So this is my new Cyberrunner character. I don't have a name or a backstory or anything for her yet, but I'm kind of modeling her off of the sort of canon V in Cyberpunk 2077. She looks pretty cool, I think. She's got the dyed orange hair and she's got the orange clothes to match. I'm kind of going for like a Neon City street rat character with this one. In terms of combat, she's an agile handgun expert, which has been fun. Handguns are a little underpowered in this game compared to a lot of the other weapons, but I'm gonna make it work. She is a cyber runner, so she can do some hacking. She's a stealth character as well. So I feel like I've been really concentrating on getting stealth attacks to round out stealth. I have all 4 ranks there. I need to do some other stuff. I think gymnastics will help in open combat. Try to avoid open combat as much as possible with this character and try to stay sneaky for as much as possible, but eventually it's going to force you into open combat with somebody. So mobility is going to be key for this character. Social, I'm going to be leaning into heavily with this one too. I don't speak Freedom Mutants. Okay. My Elden Ring stream's going to be a mix of my on-stream character and off-stream character. Okay, cool. I'm half GOD, mainly have, except even though I live in Essex. Okay. Geordie. Yeah, so I still need to do the pickpocket thing, and maybe I'll do that here because I've taken the street rat trait. She is from Neon. That means that the if I do get caught, the bounty here is going to be a little less than it would be in like New Atlantis or anywhere else. So I need to flesh this out, and then the diplomacy, instigation stuff, and manipulation stuff is stuff that works a lot better from stealth. These are the social skills that I was talking about was hard to actually get to work in combat because of how finicky they were in the scanner when the enemy's moving around. But if you're doing it from stealth, it becomes a lot more effective and like less clunky. So I'll get there, but I need to do a lot more pickpocketing, and now that I'm in Neon, I can do some of that. If I end up getting caught here, it'll be less costly than it would be elsewhere, because I am a Neon street rat. Let's see, next level up, I'm going to be taking another rank in ballistics. Eventually, I'm going to be focusing mainly on incapacitation for the EM weapons and the disruptors, because those work really well from stealth. And this is going to be more of an agent build where she's going to be contracted to do specific jobs, and just shooting an entire place up is not usually part of that job description. So to be able to incapacitate an enemy in a non-lethal way from a distance is really good to keep your stealth and things like that. So I will be going there, but in the numerous cases, there are several cases where where the game's going to force you into open combat with enemies. I wanted to have a ballistics weapon backup for that. And then pistol certification the same way. Once I unlock incapacitation, I'll go there. And maybe do some rapid reloading stuff and targeting. Things like that make fast handgun style play a little more viable. Science, we might do some of this eventually in order, especially like weapons engineering, in order to buff up our handguns as much as possible. Things like chemistry, I feel like she would have some experience mixing up drugs like Aurora coming from the pleasure city of Neon, where drugs are all over the place. She probably has a bad history of that kind of thing. Security is definitely going to be more key to this build than it is for the Cyberneticist for sure. And I haven't actually taken any boost pack training, but we'll get there. Definitely need to focus more on some ship combat type stuff. But we'll get there too. But yeah, I've modeled her on Canon V, which is a female V from like standard female V from Cyberpunk 2077. And I kind of wanted to get the big city vibe from her as well. Just being a small sort of maybe ne'er-do-well cog in a much bigger machine. Maybe a little bit of mild chronic depression and a little bit of substance abuse maybe. Just to make it by in like a big city, the impersonal claustrophobia of a big city like Neon or Night City or something like that. So I'm kind of exploring that part of it roleplay wise. It works better in Cyberpunk than it does in Starfield, but Starfield gives it a much more unique flair in terms of both gameplay and setting. The claustrophobia is not as big of a deal when you can just hop on your spaceship and go anywhere you want at any time you want. So there will be themes of that in it as well, but I want to handle that with sensitivity. I do know some people who struggle with depression and substance abuse and stuff like that, and I don't, right? But exploring that in a video game kind of it's a little less of a touchy subject than I think. But I want to handle it with sensitivity and respect, so I gotta explore that a little further. Let's see, mate. At the moment, I had to give it up with the monk build. I am moving to shadow-based mage, mainly using triumvirate with blue flame for destruction. Oh, awesome! Or triumph mage. Also, some spell out of obscure magic. Cool, man. Let me know how that goes. I'm not looking to expand my mod list anymore right now, but having wild, crazy new spell packs is always something I like to add to Skyrim if it fits in with my current list, you know? And I am looking to upgrade my mod list after the Shaman Assassin playthrough and the build guide is out. Not a complete overhaul, just add some things here and there and fix a few other things. So this is where my street rat build is going to thrive, is the weird little covert stuff that you get from Neon City here.
It's all honest mistake, right? Can't we just settle this right here? I can pay the usual.
We don't make the rules.
Okay, my stomach is really grumbling at me. Sorry guys, let me take a really quick break here, and I'll be back real soon. Okay, I'm back. Just remembered my wife got me a blueberry muffin this morning and I haven't eaten it, so hope you don't mind if I eat it on stream.
And start walking.
Move it. Let's go.
Yeah, Frank Rennick's all in a twist because his.
I agree, Magus. I like Neon City.
We had a good laugh about it.
Best.
Back at
the whole vibe. I wish that Starfield would lean a little more into like the darker, gritty underground stuff that you get in the Well and in Neon City. My only gripe about Neon City is that it's not bigger. It's basically just a quarter of like the Las Vegas Strip, right? But the vibe here is cool. The vibe here is really cool. I wish there were like 4 more sections of this about the city. And you can put them behind load doors or whatever. I've already kind of established that I don't mind that. And you do go to the Yeb side and the other side to get to like the Chasm Bass processing plant, and you get to see all that stuff, and then there's more corporate headquarters and stuff around here. But yeah, she fits in like really well with this whole vibe. Pretty happy with how she turned out. And I don't play a lot of female characters either, but I was really drawn to the sort of depth that the sort of canon V has in Cyberpunk. It's very real in a lot of ways, and I like the punk aesthetic of it. So that's kind of what I modeled her off of. And I think it'll fit in really well with this game. And the underbelly, yeah. Should have been huge.
No way. It might just be mine.
How dare you? Have you added ELF? I haven't added anything to Starfield. I think the lighting actually works really well in the middle of the game. I haven't seen a side-by-side. Oh, I can remove it? I'll look into it for the next stream. It is kind of in the way, and people don't really use it a lot.
Keep your nose clean. Last thing I
From what I've seen anyway.
for a DP, A and B, B
Yes, this is the other character.
Heaven forbid, an MS.
This is a Cyber Runner Street Rat.
Am I right?
So yeah, as far as equipment right now, okay, so this is interesting. All right, I'm using the Ace sidearm. This is the unique weapon that you find. Oh, actually, what the hell is going on here? This is the unique weapon that you can buy from Jemison Mercantile at the very beginning of the game in New Atlantis. This one comes with, I'm sorry, I gotta eat. I'm so hungry. The film grain I removed, I just turned it off in the settings. Oh, you're not talking about the film grain. You're talking about the sort of like the little color filter that goes over the top of it. Yeah, no, I like it. Yeah, we just have, I know. I usually try not to eat on stream. I don't think people really mind it. But I'm really hungry, and I only have like 40 minutes left in the window here. Got some plans for later today, and I wanted to show off the character. So I think either BGS or the RNG gods have heard my complaint about legendary weapons not dropping very often, or even like rare or anything. I ended up getting this legendary Maelstrom on Crete, which is the place that you go to fight off the pirates that are chasing you around at the very beginning of the game, right after you leave, I don't remember the first planet that you're on with the mining job. And I found a legendary Maelstrom with 1-inch punch, which is one of the best legendary effects that you can get in the game. So it's a Maelstrom that fires like a shotgun-like spread with every round that you fire, which is awesome. Instigating deals double damage to targets with full health, and that procs on each one of those shotgun pellets. So it's amazingly powerful. And then Hitman, you get an extra 15% damage while aiming, and it came with a medium scope. So even though this is going to be a handgun character, this legendary drop was too good to ignore. So I've been using it a little bit. I've been trying to focus on handguns because that's what I'm going to use end game. But when you get something this good, it's hard not to change your build a little bit, or at least just use it until its usefulness wears out, right? All you need is a suppressor, yes. So I did get one gun which has a suppressor, and it's a rare, but it's that stupid ass Space Adept legendary, which gives you more damage in space and less damage on the ground, but you spend so little time in actual space combat with a gun that this is just a nerfed weapon. It's just a rare weapon that happens to be weaker than a regular weapon that you'd find, but I did happen to find a suppressed side star as well. And I don't have the weapons engineering perk yet, so I can't actually make my own suppressors on my guns, but that's something that I'll look into once I get kind of the groundwork laid for how this character is supposed to play with a stealth base, you know? Yeah, it's the bane of the loot system in this game is that stupid ass Space Adept effect. It's terrible. And 30% is a good chunk of damage, right? But it's not worth the 15% damage nerf everywhere else, especially early game when every point of damage actually matters. Go away, Space Adept. Yeah, you get all excited because you finally find like a rare or epic or legendary weapon, and you see that Space Adept on there, and you're like, great. That just means it's weaker than everything else, right? It looks like somebody's mashing that heart button now. Great. Getting some use out of it anyway. That's good. Yeah, so that's everything. The cutter you have to have on you all the time. Once I'm not speccing into laser weapons, so this is not as powerful as it would be otherwise with that stacking fire effect that you get on it. I've been kind of collecting handguns here and there, like the Rattler might be good for open combat situations, but then this is using the same rounds as I get with the Ace sidearm. They both use .27 caliber weapons, and this one just gives you more bang for the buck for each thing. Eon, this one does not have any, as far as, I don't know if it's a bug or if it's by design or what, but I've never seen an Eon pistol that was refined, calibrated, or advanced. But it does use a different ammo type, but it doesn't do very good damage. You can mod it too. So I've been collecting handguns and different pistols and things like that. The mag shot, this thing is powerful. I need to get more use out of this. Don't have a lot of rounds for it, but it's definitely something I need to make more use of. So I've been collecting those, see which ones will work best. But this is combat is a secondary option for this character. Mostly she's gonna try to stay in the shadows, manipulate her enemies instead of killing them, and all that jazz. That mag shot is chunky indeed, but the ammo for it is an issue. And here's where you get your disruptors. These things are awesome. You can get the upgraded ones, the advanced, calibrated, refined ones too, but in my experience those have been really hard to find. I have found them. Could be using those handguns, the handgun ones of them. I think you get a free one though too, once you get far enough in the Ryujin questline. The Ryujin questline is going to be a great starting point for this character because of the bonuses that it gives you. You're going to get the covert ops suit, which increases your stealth. You're also going to get the manipulate perk for free with the neuro amps that they're going to install. And you also get a free disruptor, I think, as well as just being a great playground for your stealth operations, right? A lot of good stuff here. And then as far as armor and stuff, I do have spacesuits that I've been collecting as far as rare and epic ones. Some of them look pretty good too. Some of them do better energy resistance than the physical resistance. But generally I don't wear them because wearing heavier gear actually affects stealth for the worst. So going without armor in this game is tough in open combat, but if I'm expecting open combat or if I'm forced into it, then I'll put the suit on.
You must be one of the candidates that Imogene Salzo is interviewing today. Her office is down the hallway to my left. Take another left at the conference room, follow it around to the right and up a small flight of stairs. Then take a left and keep heading that way until you see her office. Sounds like a maze, right? So if you want me to walk you back there or have any questions, just let me know. Great. Well, good luck then. I'm sure I'll see you on your way out.
It does sound like a maze, but I have a magic compass that follows me around. It's not as weird as it sounds. I promise. Skyrim GPS in Starfield.
Atlantis Free Star Embassy. That'd be a good way to gather intel.
Lasagna for dinner at Marks and Spencer's special. They're amazing at making quick to cook meals. Awesome. Lasagna sounds great. My wife does not like lasagna though, so I don't get to eat it as much.
I hope you're more prepared than the last
She loves
one.
pizza, doesn't like lasagna.
Have a seat.
She's probably listening to me talk right now because the door's wide open and she's sitting out there reading. By the way, my wife's birthday is tomorrow, so everybody say happy birthday to Mrs. Karn.
Don't tell me you're intimidated by a little office chair.
Okay, I guess I gotta sit down. Imogene is one of my favorite characters in this game. The Ryujin quest line is not my favorite, but she's a really cool cat.
Do this, but my counterpart Yuko
Happy birthday to Mrs. Karn. Look at that.
So here I am.
I'll convey the birthday wishes.
We're looking for someone to fill in.
Yeah, after I stream, we're actually going to go do a bike ride.
Apparently, our algorithm has failed us.
Maybe.
And believes you
Depends on if whether or not
match,
we were able to schedule a test drive of the Bronco or not.
So, let's get this over with.
But the plan is to take a bike ride down our little green belt here. It's nice and scenic. The weather is great. Gonna go get some sushi and maybe see an art exhibit somewhere. I think should be a good time. I grew up in the shadow of Ryujin Tower, so it's time to see what this place is all about.
It's always nice to see the local residents take an interest in us.
And a birthday
Why
cake?
Do you consider yourself
you don't want to spoil her.
For a job like this?
At least you're looking at a Ford. Are you like? I know you like Japanese cars. You've been on about Toyota and Nissan for a while, but yeah, I'm a Mustang guy personally. I like the new Broncos. I think they're cool. But are you like anti-Chevy? You're one of those anti-Chevy guys. I know I can do this job, and I hope to prove it.
A bold answer, and hopefully one with truth behind it. How motivated are you to succeed?
Honda, Toyota, Ford, and Nissan. Okay. Mostly the Japanese stuff. Happy birthday pie for Miss Karn. Ooh, we've had the pie versus cake debate.
That perfect answer?
Yes.
All in, huh?
Not anti-Chevy, just anti-GM with crap materials. I see.
And finally, my
like a
last
lot of
question.
Chevys, yeah.
If you worked here for 5 years, what role would you see yourself in?
I prefer the complexities of cybersecurity.
In that case, you'd find yourself on one of the best teams in the settled systems.
There you go.
It's nice to see someone take an interest in the
Last car was a
legal
Solstice,
side
which I
of
loved, but you can
cybersecurity.
tell the interior
But
didn't
I hope you enjoy
get the
a
love they
challenge.
needed.
The hackers these days keep our people busy round the clock.
How do I feel about Ford? I love
There's a
Ford.
million other things I'd rather be doing than this, not to mention that this
There's a massive boost to everything. Yeah, I've been a Mustang guy for a
On a
while. As soon as I could afford my
period,
first new car, I bought a Mustang.
First order. There's
And I
a
haven't
meeting
looked
starting
back.
soon, and I need you to pick up the
There's just
coffee
something
order
about the
at
history
Terra
of like Ford
Fairly
with like the Model T and the
should be
assembly
able to screw it
line, and
If there's a line,
the
skip
Mustang
it.
being like the
Tell them
first
you're
like
here for Imogen
widely
Salzo,
available
and you should get served
sports
right
car,
away.
and how awesome it looked. And then they came out with the 2005 Mustang, which was like the retro style. That I like fell in love with that thing immediately. Focus ST is a hell of a car, yeah. I actually test drove one of those. The one thing that, well, first of all, it wasn't a Mustang. The Mustang has that mystique to it, right? The Focus drove really well, but there's something about that turbo lag that, and I know it's like on every car now. It's hard to find like a truly naturally aspirated sports car because you get so much more horsepower out of a turbocharged engine. But yeah, that turbo kick, when that turbo kicked in, it's like you would smash the pedal down and nothing would happen until the car got going a little bit, and then you would get that turbo kick and you'd be like, woo. With the Mustang, you smash the pedal down and you know you get an immediate response from the engine. No lag on the ST, or there shouldn't be. Yeah, I drove a manual transmission Focus ST. It was one of the first generation ones. And there was a significant, maybe just because I'd never driven a turbo car before that, and I'd been driving the Mustang. Oh no, I wasn't driving a Mustang. I was driving just a 4-cylinder non-turbo car before that. And I was waiting for like the launch to come in. And it just wasn't happening until like after we hit 15 miles per hour, and then it went whoosh. Used to having more torque, yeah, probably. Had a Mustang Cobra SVT once. It was nice. Ooh, that is a sexy car. The Cobras are crazy good.
Hello, and welcome to Terra Brew. How may I serve? Oh, the Ryujin order. You must be new. What happened to Tomo? Did he finally get that?
I got fired is what happened. And this
also has over 400. Yeah, that's what you get for that turbo. Even the base 255 shouldn't have any lag. Mine is first gen 2013. At some point, you're going to get the
coffee, kissing up to that
Puma,
high and mighty
and as
Lauren Chen, just to get replaced by this nobody.
The Puma? Or are you talking about the Fiesta Pinto Puma? I don't know what car the Puma is. The RS is a crazy one though. RS is really good. Not my problem. All I did was respond to an ad. Yeah, the Cyber Runner here is kind of a
first sign they were gonna get rid of me.
Kind of a cold person.
Was just
She's not here to make anybody feel better about their
now that
lives.
I've been terminated.
She's just here to,
it's only a matter of time
you know,
before
focus
they send you
on
after me.
making her ends meet.
So I'm taking matters into my own hands.
Not the best family car. Ooh.
It's either you or
Somebody
me.
just pulled a gun on me. I'll catch up with you guys. All right, hold on. Let's talk about this.
You want to talk?
So the Cyber Runner, first and foremost, is she's either going to stealth her way through a conflict or talk her way through a conflict. If she can't do that, then she'll fight her way. But first, she tries to avoid conflict completely. If not, she's going to try to talk it out, and if that doesn't work, then she's going to take out the handgun. But I'm highly trained. You attack me, you die.
Don't make me laugh. I pull this trigger, you're dead.
I don't think that's how it's going to work, buddy, but okay, listen. Neither one of us wants to risk the worst happening.
Nobody wants that.
Now we're getting somewhere.
I haven't agreed to anything yet.
Okay.
Looks like I'll be doing
we're still a budding
one last favor
persuasionist.
After all.
Too fast for you. Now I'm going to take your gun. And I'm gonna take your money, and I'm gonna take your ammo. How do you like that?
Well, that just made my day more interesting. Look,
mine too.
I don't want any trouble, but I'd get fired if I didn't call security to get this body out of here. So I'd head back to Ryujin ASAP and let me.
Oh, there's a Ford Puma? That's probably not something that's available here on this side of the Atlantic. I know that Ford and other American companies offer, especially the small hatchbacks, more over in Europe than they do here. The Fiesta was one that we recently just got, the Fiesta ST, and the Focus RS and Fiesta RS, I think. We just recently got them over here too, but they'd been unavailable.
Long as you do, got nothing to worry about.
But they'd been available in Europe for quite a long time. Europe had been traditionally the more hot hatch market. That didn't sell as well. Americans tend to want like bigger, beefier, like muscle cars and family sedans and SUVs and things like that. But now that our gas prices are catching up with yours, I think the smaller cars are becoming more fashionable.
You know, the DJ? Well, she's moping around because she lost something important.
Focuses and Fiestas very quickly, and they kept going for quite a period of time when you just got rid of them a couple weeks. Oh, okay. Gotcha. So the ST cars are the only ones of those lines to get, in my opinion, if you have the money. Okay. Yeah, the RS is the four-wheel drive, like rally, the rally sport versions. The ST is more like the beefed up sports version. The rally one usually has more horsepower, four-wheel drive. Those are usually like the top tier sports cars of those guys. As far as reliability and I would probably rather drive a four-wheel drive car than a front-wheel drive car, but I'm really more of a rear-wheel drive car. Say that 10 times fast. RS is the all-wheel drive, about 100 more horsepower than the ST. Yeah. It just the rear-wheel drive stuff makes a little more sense to me around the corners and stuff. It's a lot safer for me to drive because I can deal with the oversteer a lot better than the understeer.
You either need to learn this city or how to deal with distractions.
Where's the Azura shrine?
So, what was the whole?
Is there supposed to be an Azura shrine here? Sight to see. Oh, I see. Wynn commented on that.
Follow me. Let's talk somewhere more private.
So, I ran into an ex-employee of yours.
Good answer. And the one I was hoping for, since we learned of the incident before your return. Your handling of the Tomo situation has caught some attention, and we'd like to try you out in a different role at the company. And since Yuko isn't here to object, your new position starts right now.
Oh boy.
So, congratulations. You've been promoted. Not bad.
Ironically,
for your
my
first day,
father's
right?
buddy's son designed the Focus ST-RS. Oh, nice. So that better mean I'm getting a raise.
Of course. We believe in risk versus reward here. I'm promoting you to junior
Second star to the right and straight on till morning. There you go.
The position is a bit more complicated and completely confidential. Your main duty is to add influence when necessary to ensure success of the business. Any questions so far?
With the Golf Rabbit, Civic hatches, etc. Yeah, yeah, but I mean, Ford sees them more as like a Euro thing, right? Well, okay, so the Rabbit and Golf and the Civic hatches is all they've... Okay, so the hatches haven't sold as well this year as like the coupes and the sedans have, right? The Golf is different because I think the Golf went away here actually for a while in like the 80s and stuff. They came back in like the 90s.
Really? Well, this transition may be easier than I thought. Now, let's get that coffee delivered. I'll gladly
And because
take
American
mine.
companies
And
don't
since
market
Yuko's
well.
Still a no-show, feel free to keep
Stepped
hers.
away and the wind blows in.
The other
There's the
recipients are
panic
eagerly
monk.
waiting for you in the conference
Or
room.
shall we call him the shaved monk?
I've got my eye on you.
Make introductions to the Ryujin board over here. Groomed monk. Okay, okay.
Ah, coffee. You'd think we'd want to support our own subsidiary.
CNET, mostly marketing over from Ford, comes Europe because they tend to prefer the directors of it over here than they do over America. Interesting. Maybe Ryujin should acquire Terra Brew.
Terra Brew would be a substantial purchase, but we fully intend to develop the Tranquility brand. Current projections are set to surpass Terra Brew within the next 5 years. T-Talk aside, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Lyndon Calderi, Chief Financial Officer. I'll be the one deducting expenses from your pay every time you manage to screw up. Which, from the sound of it, might be often.
What? What the hell? Who's been talking to you? Well, I never screw up, so you don't have anything to deduct.
We'll see. We've yet to have an operative with a perfect record. This introduction was not annoying. I hope our future encounters are as productive.
Not annoying. Something tells me that's a compliment coming from that guy, right? All right. Can I talk to you? Genevieve Monahan.
Just what I needed. Imogene said she hired someone new. I'm Genevieve, Head of Marketing and Public Relations.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Likewise. Anyway, it's good to put a face to the new operative. The only question now is how much work are you going to be?
Along with the influence from the European... Okay. Yeah, the Japanese market was always really good with the hot hatches. Better than the American companies here, anyway. No, you won't have to worry about me.
Yeah, that's what they all say. Just know that one screw up for you means a lot of overtime and sleepless nights for me and my team. So, any precautions you can take will be greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. I think I will rarely ever be seen on one of these jobs, so...
Coffee, finally. Well, let's have a look at you.
Okay. I'm quite the specimen, you know.
Sounds like something my son would say. And no, I don't mean that as a compliment. I'm Alexis Price, head of the legal department here, and I'll be direct.
So no sense of humor. All right, we know to avoid this one.
Any legal troubles you cause as an operative, witnesses, getting arrested, are my troubles. So steer clear of law enforcement. We may have connections with Administrator Bayou and the Freestar Rangers, but they aren't the ones I prefer to abuse.
I'm like a ghost. No one will ever catch me.
Good. Then we should get along just fine.
All right, looking forward to it, I think. Can I talk to you, please?
So, fetching coffee 1 minute and junior operative the next. Camden Cho, supply chain manager for Ryujin. We won't
Can-do
work
attitude.
much, but as part of the same department, hopefully I'll be seeing you around.
Okay, well, it was good to meet you.
Yeah, it's always nice to put names to faces. And we rarely see most of the operatives around here. Anyway, welcome to the team. Oh, and just a heads up, people in your position don't typically see the brighter side of Ryujin Industries. But rest assured, this is a great company, and the work we do goes toward benefiting millions.
Oh, yeah. Yep, okay. I'll keep that in mind.
Please do. It's easy to get wrapped up in the bad if that's all you see. Of course, you'll be forming your own opinions as you go.
Absolutely.
Just keep an open mind. Oh,
I feel like this character, she knows the corporate world good enough not to, you know, drink the Kool-Aid or buy into the smoke that they're all trying to blow up everybody's asses, right? She knows the reality of the situation. She knows what she's here for, and she knows she'll get paid well for doing it. Anyway, she likes the color scheme of Ryujin Industries. She doesn't even have to wear a uniform. She was already in uniform. It's kind of ridiculous how well that matches. I did not even plan that, but here it is.
I hope you enjoyed your little meet and greet. I thought you'd like to know the execs who you'll be impacting while on the job.
But it's sensitive. Do you have time to talk about the special project we're working on for Miss Salzo?
Let's see. Well, they weren't shy about telling me how much work I could cause for them if I'm not careful.
I can only imagine. Now that you've met a few of the execs, let's get to started.
Look at that. $5,800
We have reason to
bucks.
believe that our friends at KeltCorp are trying to hack into our R&D server, since we're both competing for a contract right now.
Big mistake on their part.
My words exactly. We can't allow them to win the contract, nor can we allow the action to go unpunished. I'll be giving you a data slate with a file that you'll need to upload through one of their computers.
All right, consider it done.
Remember, this is confidential. We can't have anyone at KeltCorp getting suspicious. When all is said and done, it should be as if you were never there. Here's the data slate. Good luck.
Okay, so I feel like this character, she's got covert ops just in her blood. She knows better than to ask too many questions. She doesn't want to know the answers, first of all. Second of all, she knows that the company that she's working for here doesn't want her to know all the answers. They just are paying her for a job, and she's going to do that job to the best of her abilities in the most focused scope that she can, the most narrowed focus to do the job exactly as they have specified, and nothing else. So her job is to plant this data on this computer. Her job is not to go in there and rob the place. Her job is not to go in there and shoot up the place. Her job is not to go in there and make a bunch of friends or find new loot, or to find you know, more adventure or friends or anything like that. She's just in there to do one thing. She's going to do it as efficiently as possible, to the letter. No witnesses, and she's going to come back and get her paycheck. And that's how she operates. That's how she does it. That's how she does like everything that she does, right? So that's what I'm going to be focused on gameplay wise, is just going to be completely
Catherine Lucian keeps demanding we look into her
efficient as possible.
Murder. Yeah, right. Hysterical.
She knows enough about all this corporate espionage stuff that she knows that she does not want to know more about it, right? She doesn't want to play a bigger piece than just being a pawn. If she's a well-played pawn or a well-paid pawn, and she's completely happy just doing that over and over again. Her conscience is not going to get her a better life or more freedom or more independence, but a good paying job and lots of credits will. So let's see here. It's a little late to do this, but see if we can find a costume here that makes more sense. Okay, we're gonna pose as just a maintenance person just trying to fix the air conditioner. There's a blocked vent or something. So here we go. Just here to do some maintenance on the climate control system here. Nothing else. Oh, there's a guard. We're just gonna act like we're fixing one of the machines here.
No time to chat.
Yeah, likewise. Am I in your way? You wanna get some coffee? sorry, the machine's not working. Okay, now the guard's getting out of the way there. Resuming his or her patrol. Just checking the vents here, don't worry about me. We are hidden. Plenty of digipicks. No auto slots though. Okay. More security experience, that's good. Yeah, I'm not gonna putz around in their systems. I'm just gonna do the job. Uploading that program. Okay, these vents look good.
What do you want to do for the
Coffee machine's fixed.
I don't know, but I gotta
Alright, you guys have a good day.
It's been non-stop interruptions.
Let me know if anything else breaks down, alright? Oh, did not mean to go to Core Kinetics. All the way back down to the lobby. Wish YouTube allowed us to reply to specific chat. That would be nice, huh? I feel like they're gonna have most, if not all, the functionality that Twitch has at some point. They are putting a lot of money into their Twitch or their live streaming, and I'm seeing some of the well, I say bigger Twitch people, at least the Twitch people that I follow. They're streaming more on YouTube now. Things like professional like fighting game players and stuff that used to just live on Twitch are now moving their live stream efforts over to YouTube. I don't know why. Maybe it's a monetization thing or a copyright thing or just not wanting to segment their audience or something, because they all do have YouTube channels as well. And there's also some Diablo 4 streamers that have recently started streaming on YouTube as well. So I feel like the functionality is behind, but it's still on the way, I hope. While we're in the elevator here, we'll go ahead and change back into something a little more appropriate. Thought about doing a cyber runner at one point. It seems cool. It's a pretty big, I mean, similarities in the names aside, so far gameplay and roleplay has been much different than the Cyberneticist that I've been playing. And it's been a nice change of pace to something a little more stealth-based, a little more focused on doing things in clean ways and a completely different way to roleplay things.
Missing piece right there.
All right, I'll get on it.
Mainly right now, it's then being very rude to the users, and they're not getting as much support as on YouTube, where YouTube has been very... Oh, to the content creative. This is not New Game Plus. Wind. This, I switched over from the Cyberneticist that I was playing to show off my new character. I'm still in the grind to New Game Plus 10 on the Cyberneticist with his, but I did want to go back and show off his self-follower, his brother from another universe, sort of. But mostly I've been just grinding through the New Game Plus stuff with the Cyberneticist. I'm trying to get to New Game Plus 10, and then I'll start focus on settlement building and ship building a little bit more. But still continue to play him, probably up to like a level 100 or whatever. But in the meantime, I did want to start a new game, new character, just to try a new style of play. And this is the new character that I was showing off. I think she looks great. She's got kind of a punk vibe going on. She's a Neon City street rat. And I've modeled her off of female V from Cyberpunk 2077 a little bit, and kind of got some of the same roleplay considerations going on there too. Yeah. Well, thank you. And the gameplay's been a lot of fun too, because it's so much different than the Cyberneticist as well. More stealth based and all that, and slowing down the game. Any BGS game kind of benefits from slowing it down a little bit, and stealth based gameplays, they really aid you in doing that, right? You can't just blast through everything. You kind of gotta take your time and think your way through things, and it gives you a little more time to get into your character's head and roleplay a little bit more, I think. But yeah, she looks cool. I really like the vibe, the aesthetic, and all of that. But yeah, okay, so I think that does it for me for this week. Next week I'm going to be out. I'm not going to be streaming next week. We just have too much of a busy social day next Saturday. Going to be all over the place. But the week after, I should be back in Skyrim. I think I should have made enough progress on the Shaman Assassin to show that off and keep building that guy. Any other announcements to make? I don't think so. In the meantime, there might be some just little music videos showing off Scorpion gameplay. There's another video that I want to do on the end game of Starfield, how to approach that. Other than that, not much in the works. If you have happened across the channel, happened across the video, and you like what you see, do check out the links in the description below. Namely, we have some people here in the chat who have channels of their own, Twitch, YouTube, or otherwise. Magus80 has been here from the beginning. He has a Twitch channel where he mostly does Skyrim. He's dabbled in some Starfield here and there too. But he's doing Skyrim now. So do go leave him a follow, and I'll see you there. The Wind as well has a Twitch channel. Hopefully she'll be back in the saddle soon. So do leave her a follow. I'm sure she'll appreciate it. The Panicked Monk has a YouTube channel with some really good YouTube and stuff in there. And let's see who else. Maldaroth has a Twitch channel that he streams on, mostly Skyrim again. A little bit of Diablo 4 I've seen. And who else? I think that's everybody. Sorry if I missed anybody. So it's 2 there? It is 2 o'clock here, yes. We do not do we do not do daylight savings time here in Arizona. So at some point we're on the same started at 1 p.m. for me today, but notifications were on time and right. Okay, yeah, no, we don't do daylight savings time here, so I might be an hour off from where I usually start, so and end. So that's it for me. Okay, guys. Yeah, that was my 3-hour window. Well, shit. Yeah, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all good. Okay, that's it for me, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time. All right. Bye.